This page is the cover of SEGA Saturn magazine, dated March 27, 1998. It features a vibrant illustration of Sakura Shinguji from Sakura Wars, highlighting extensive coverage of the highly anticipated sequel, Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, which receives a massive 10-page special feature. The cover also promotes the latest titles exhibited at the Tokyo Game Show, indicating a deep dive into upcoming releases. Featured games include the final chapter of Super Robot Wars F, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Iron Maiden, and a scoop on the 10 machines in Cybertroopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram. The magazine also teases coverage on titles like Welcome to Piacaret, Real Sound 2, Grandia, Lunar, Eternal Blue, Gang Griffon 2, Baroque, and hints at a special feature on Revolutionary Girl Utena. A guide to SEGA Saturn software is mentioned, along with coverage of Even the Lost One, Legend of Heroes IV, Machi, and Panzer Dragoon Saga. It even boasts a special appendix related to Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 2. This issue is packed with previews and deep dives into the Saturn's major releases around that time. This page introduces the unique sound novel game, Real Sound Regret of the Wind, for the SEGA Saturn. The title is displayed prominently in large Japanese characters, alongside the year 1998, indicating its release period. A striking red warning advises players that this is a truly scary software, hinting at the game's focus on psychological horror delivered primarily through audio, as real sound games are known for having minimal visual elements. The page also features the familiar SEGA Saturn logo and standard trademark information for SEGA Enterprises. This page serves as a dramatic introduction to a game known for its immersive, sound-driven narrative experience. This page announces the upcoming game in the Real Sound series, titled Undo 2, Tulugal. This unique, sound-driven narrative experience, following on from Regret of the Wind, is teased with its title and the announcement that it is scheduled for release in June. Developed by Warp Inc., known for their innovative approach, the game continues the series' tradition of minimal visuals, focusing instead on immersive audio storytelling on the SEGA Saturn. This page welcomes players to a nightmare, announcing the return of the classic masterpiece, Dungeon Master. This new iteration, titled Dungeon Master Nexus, is reborn as a complete 3D real-time RPG on the SEGA Saturn. The page highlights its full polygon graphics, promising powerful monsters, eerie dungeons, and intricate traps that will provide the ultimate sense of immersion. The image shows a hand reaching out in a dark, atmospheric setting, hinting at the game's first-person perspective and dark fantasy theme. The box art is also featured, showing the game's title and the SEGA Saturn logo. The game is scheduled for release on March 26th, priced at 6,800 yen, and is published by Victor Interactive Software. This page continues the descent into the dark world of Dungeon Master Nexus. The large text at the top translates to the Labyrinth of Despair, setting a grim tone. Dominating the page is a stunning illustration of a mysterious character, possibly a key figure or antagonist within the labyrinth. This being wears a dramatic red, pointed cowl, resembling a jester's cap, and an intricately detailed robe adorned with gold and blue Celtic knotwork and animal motifs. Its face is pale and gaunt with piercing red eyes, and a long, red tongue protrudes from its mouth, adding to its unsettling appearance. This striking visual reinforces the game's dark fantasy theme and promises encounters with memorable and potentially terrifying foes within the depths of the 3D labyrinth. The Victor logo remains, indicating this is still promotional material for their upcoming SEGA Saturn release. SEGA Saturn Magazine Volume 9, published in March 1998, showcases Revolutionary Girl Utena on its cover. Key features include a 10-page preview of Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, detailing its battle system. A Hot Titles report covers Super Robot Wars F Final, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel, and introduces several new games like Real Sound, Kaze No Regret, Super Real Mahjong P7, Super Tempo, and The King of Fighters 97. RPGs, dungeon crawlers, dating sims, and strategy RPGs are also covered. Later, a section spotlights ESP's Tokyo Game Show presence, featuring Grandia, Digital Museum, Lunar, Eternal Blue, Gungriffon 2, and Baroque. The magazine includes an appendix with a poster for Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 2 and a feature on Revolutionary Girl Utena, with interviews with the director and a voice actor. This page serves as a comprehensive guide and index for the magazine's content, It highlights new and upcoming SEGA Saturn software releases, including titles like Roommate 3, Clock, Powa Powa Island, Game to Say Shun, Dragon Force 2, and The House of the Dead. There's a section dedicated to a complete guide for existing Saturn software. A major feature is the Urgent Scoop, focusing on Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, announcing the gathering of all 11 mechs. The right side features a detailed game index, listing numerous titles covered within the magazine, along with their corresponding page numbers. This includes notable games like Azel, Panzer Dragoon RPG, Advanced World War, Eve the Lost One, Gungrafon 2, Grandia, Digital Museum, The King of Fighters 97, Sakura Wars 2, The House of the Dead, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel, Super Robot Wars F Final, and many others, indexed alphabetically by their Japanese title's initial kana sound. The illustration at the bottom right depicts a character from the Welcome to Paya series, which is also listed in the index. The left side provides a breakdown of the magazine's sections, covering news, data statistics, reader contributions, game strategies for titles like J.League Pro Soccer Club, Otsukuru 2 and Gungrafon 2, opinion columns, data analysis, reviews, arcade game coverage, and a schedule for upcoming releases, giving readers a full overview of the issue's diverse content. This page dives into exciting news for Sega Saturn fans, leading off with the announcement of a cool, limited edition skeleton Sega Saturn console. Releasing on April 4th, the same day as Sakura Wars 2, this transparent model features a "This is Cool" logo, and is limited to 30,000 units. It's purely a cosmetic change, with performance identical to standard models, adding another unique design to the diverse lineup of Saturn hardware, including the original gray, white, Victor's V Saturn, and Hitachi's HI Saturn. Next up, the ever-popular Sagata Sanshiro is back in top form, this time starring in a commercial for Pro Yaku Greatest 998. Known for his outrageous stunts, Sagata is shown batting barefoot, kicking the ball with his foot, and catching it with his chest, continuing his legendary antics that captivate audiences. Finally, there's big news for fans of Sakura Wars 2. Lawson convenience stores are starting pre-orders for the highly anticipated sequel. As a special bonus, the first 20,000 people who pre-order will receive an exclusive original Lawson handkerchief, making this a must-get for dedicated fans. Sega is offering a special version of J.League Pro Soccer Club, Wotsukuru, to players who exchange their standard copy by April 30th. The Tokyo Game Show 98 Spring will be covered online via tokyogame.net from March 1st. A Pocket Fighter tournament for female players took place on Hinamatsuri, with the game HIHU team winning. Hori Electric is releasing a 1,000 yen CD cleaner for game consoles. Konami opened its third Konami Milk Store in Osaka, selling character goods. Konami is also releasing new merchandise, including limited edition Tokimeki memorial figures, a Policenauts action figure, and Konami collection cards featuring series like Policenauts and Snatcher. This page features updates on popular voice actresses and related media releases, particularly those connected to games and entertainment popular with Sega Saturn fans. Mariko Koda, a well-known voice actress, is highlighted for her first starring movie role in Looking For, which is having premiere soon, and also for securing a regular drama appearance. Images show her and the movie cast. Related to this, her single and album, also titled Looking For, have been released to commemorate the movie, featuring her on the covers. Another section focuses on Ryoko Inoue from Soft, who is releasing a vocal collection tied to the popular Roommate dating simulation series. A photo shows her recording, and an anime illustration from the series is also present. News is also covered for the 5th anniversary of the TV game Radion's R-Radio show, and the CD debut of Michiko Toyoshima, known for her role in Sentimental Graffiti. An event is planned, and her theme song for the show has been released. Photos of the radio hosts and Toyoshima are shown. The bottom half of the page previews several new music releases, many of which are connected to games or related franchises. These include the soundtrack for the Looking For movie, a vocal collection for Tsuchipai Adventure, Doki Doki Nightmare, and the soundtrack for the Harley-Davidson and LA Riders game. Album covers for these and other releases like Deca Metal and albums by Vinyl, Sharam Q members, Vanity Vox, and Yosui Inoue are displayed. This page features a review and ranking of strategy guides and related books for SEGA Saturn games, highlighting those that effectively cover puzzles and gameplay systems across various genres like simulation and RPGs. A ranking table lists the top recommended books based on a survey, including guides for games like Sentimental Graffiti, Kansu Soshite, Grandia, Machi, and Pro Yaku Team Wotsukuru. The pickup section focuses on the official guides for Grandia, showcasing both the initial and the complete edition. The Complete Edition guide is described as a practical tool for players deep into the game, covering the entire world, including detailed story walkthroughs, item and monster data, and maps marking important locations like items, save points, and deposit spots. Further down, additional guidebooks and art books are reviewed. These include another guide for Grandia focusing on adventure strategy with maps and data, an official art book for Arcana Strikes featuring illustrations and creator comments, and official guides for Winter Heat, Shichisei no Shima Monogatari, Story of the Seven Stars Island, Wizardry Nemesis, and Shin Megami Tensei, Soul Hackers. These reviews touch upon features like unique map styles, developer interviews, and comprehensive game data coverage, offering players valuable resources to enhance their gameplay experience. This page presents the SEGA Saturn Magazine's weekly sales ranking, showcasing the top 15 best-selling software titles based on shop data. It highlights the current hottest games and provides a snapshot of the market's trends for the week ending February 28, 1998. Leading the pack at number 1 is the adult adventure game Kansu Soshite. With a strong debut, coming in at number 2 is Yukyu Gensokyoku's second album, Eternal Fantasy second album, an RPG, which is the sequel to a popular title. The long-running simulation game Pro Yaku Team Wotsukuru, Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team, holds steady at number 3, promising continued support and interactive features for readers. Sonic Team's action title, Burning Rangers, enters the chart at number 4, known for its accompanying music CD. Rounding out the top 5 is the adventure game Tsuchipai Adventure Doki Doki Nightmare. Further down the list, you'll find other notable releases like Legend of Heroes, White Witch at 6, the tactical RPG Langrisser 4, Dramatic Edition at 7, and sports titles like J-League Jikuhanu no Striker, J-League Live Flame Striker at 8, and Winter Heat at 10. The ranking offers insight into the diverse tastes of Saturn owners, from niche adventure games to established RPG series and popular sports simulations. The magazine notes the rush of new titles released on February 26 significantly impacted the charts. This report explores SEGA Saturn fan desires and popular arcade titles. The user data top 20 reveals desired Saturn ports, including Dino Shokutaku 2, Final Fantasy, and To Heart. The magazine stresses that ports should offer new features. Super Real Mahjong P7 is confirmed for the Saturn. The Show Up! Arcade Video Games Shop Data Top 15 highlights arcade popularity. Fighting games dominate, with Virtua Fighter 3 TB at the top, followed by Virtua Striker 2 and Tekken 3. Marvel vs. Capcom and Street Fighter 2, Second Impact Giant Attack also rank high, along with Virtua on Cybertroopers and Sega Rally 2. 1 Point Check Game spotlights upcoming arcade games like Virtua on Oratorio Tangram with its 11 mechs and Fighting Vipers 2, which is expected to soon have move introductions. Screenshots of Sega Rally 2 and Fighting Vipers 2 are included. The Sega Saturn User Data Top 30 showcases anticipated software. Sakura Wars 2 Thou Shalt Not Die leads the list, with development details emerging. Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel is complete, while Super Robot Wars F Final Chapter is nearly finished. Code R, a racing/adventure game, is 90% complete. The Now in Store section features the 18+ simulation/adventure game, Welcome to Pia Carrot 2. Other top titles include Darkstalkers 3, Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Greed, The King of Fighters, 97, Virtua Fighter 3, Resident Evil 2, and Marvel vs. Capcom. Many games lack confirmed release dates. The Other Check, Coming Soon section hints at Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 2 and Real Sound Kaze No Regret. The limited edition Skeleton Sega Saturn is set for release, timed with Sakura Wars 2 on April 4th. This page features the weekly reader ranking for all released Sega Saturn software, presented as the All Soft Readers Check Volume 91. Based on reader votes, games are ranked by their average score, covering a total of 928 titles this week. The main ranking table shows the current rank, previous week's rank, game title, genre, and average score. This week sees a significant shakeup at the top. Grandia has reclaimed the #1 spot, jumping from second place, with a score of 9.6179. Following closely is Yuno, a girl who chants love at the boundary of the world at rank 2 with 9.6127, and Cow's Seed drops to third with 9.5955. Other notable titles in the top ranks include Devil Summoners, Soul Hackers, RPG 9.5303, Thunder Force V, SHT 9.5038, and Coldcept, Tab 9.4935. Commentary highlights the intense competition at the top, noting the extremely narrow margin of just 0.0052 points, separating Grandia and Yuno. It also points out the new entry Shin Pro Yaku team Mo Tsukuru, which debuted this week at rank 45. Screenshots showcase the top-ranked Grandia and the newly ranked baseball game Shin Pro Yaku team Mo Tsukuru. This page continues the weekly reader ranking for all SEGA Saturn software, showing games from rank 222 onwards in the All Soft Readers Check section. It also features new releases. The new release top pick introduction highlights Shin Pro Yaku team Mo Tsukuru, a baseball simulation game that debuted at rank 45. It received an average reader score of 9.0526 and a magazine score of 8.66. Commentary suggests the game focuses heavily on team management over individual matches, with long-term progression taking several in-game years. Players found the initial character designs comical, but grew to appreciate the game, particularly liking the team-building aspects. The new release Dark Horse Introduction features Kunoichi Hobumachi, an adventure game ranked 254 with a reader score of 8.1428. and a magazine score of 7.0. Reviewers found the card battles engaging and the BGM pleasant, though some felt the animation felt slightly out of place. Other new games introduced include Pretty Sammy, Heart's Feelings, rank 444, scores 7.27.0, described as chaotic but enjoyable for fans. Tamagotchi Park, rank 513, scores 6.8, 6.33, appealing to collectors of the Virtual Pet series. And WrestleMania, the arcade game, ranked 546, scores 6.5, 6.33, praised for its large characters and impactful moves despite relatively thin gameplay, though noted as being better suited for its initial release time. A small note at the bottom mentions a guide for an event schedule. This page continues the weekly reader rankings for SEGA Saturn software, listing games from rank 331 down to 645 under the banner All Soft Readers Check. The main section is a large table detailing the rank, previous rank, game title, genre, and average reader score for hundreds of titles. A small highlighted section titled Sudden Crash, Check After the Ranking, notes that the biggest crash this week was Winter Heat, dropping from 7th place to 30th. It mentions other software remains stable and advises readers to check the B and C ranks for more info. Accompanying images show a ranking grid and a screenshot of the hockey game. Another small box points out that Arcana Strikes moved up 29 ranks to 379th, while Mario Musashi, likely related to a game called Mario Musashi no Choshori Gyakuten Shogi, moved down. At the bottom, there's a note about the Sega booth event schedule, mentioning the Takahashi brothers will discuss baseball and hinting at distributions. This page continues the reader ranking charts, listing games further down the list in the odds chart Saturn D section. The main feature spotlights the live-action sound novel, Machi. Despite significant effort in its intricate scenarios and vast live-action footage, the game isn't selling as well as hoped, with estimated sales around 77,000 units, which the magazine finds disappointing given its quality. The reviewer admits initial skepticism due to the live-action format and unknown actors, but was completely won over by the engaging story and detail, urging readers that the game is genuinely interesting once played, although the system can be challenging. A highlight is the game's unique zapping system, allowing players to switch perspectives between different characters and storylines, which is described as the core of the experience and something to be fully enjoyed. Reader comments praise the intertwined scenarios of the 8 main characters and find the game offers great value, noting the difficulty is manageable. The development staff emphasizes the ease of empathy in the live-action format and the addictive quality of the story, recommending it to new players. Finally, the page notes the battle for the top spot in the rankings, with DEFCON 5 having taken the crown from, say, you, setting up a rivalry for the next week's charts. This page features volume 91 of the SEGA Saturn reader race. At the top, there's an odds chart ranking SEGA Saturn peripherals based on reader votes. The main focus is on reader reviews for upcoming or recently released games. First up is Burning Rangers, an action game. It has an average reader score of 8.66. Readers praise its immersive setting, exciting rescue operations, and nice opening song and sound, though some found the map hard to read at times. Next is Steamer Pie Adventure, Doki Doki Heart Nightmare, an adventure game with an average score of 8.0. Reviewers appreciate the detailed graphics and movies, simple system that focuses on emotion, and engaging direction that keeps things interesting. Following that is Dukoku Soshite, another adventure game, scoring 7.33. Readers highlight its replayability due to multiple traps, solid story, and nice CG graphics, recommending it particularly to fans of the original artist. The page also includes contests for readers to participate in the ranking system. One game involves predicting the debut ranking of Eve the Lost One, while another asks readers to predict the average score for Pia EU Koso. Correct or close guesses can win prizes. Finally, there's a call for readers to participate in the SEGA Saturn reader race by submitting their reviews, predictions, and software wish lists. This page features a major special report on Sakura Wars 2, billed as the largest, strongest, fastest feature, spanning 10 pages. It reveals comprehensive details about the battle system, promising exciting new elements and mysteries for players to uncover. The page showcases stunning character artwork, featuring fan favorites like Sakura Shinguji, Sumaira Kanzaki, and Captain Ugami Ichiro, as well as new members of the Flower Division. Images include a detailed look at the iconic steam-powered Kubu mechs and a screenshot of the tactical combat interface. The article builds anticipation for the game's release, highlighting the countdown with just 22 days remaining until its scheduled launch on April 4th. This dramatic adventure title, compatible with the Shuttle Mouse, is set to arrive on 3 discs. The next page is a major special report on the enemies in Sakura Wars 2, focusing on the mysterious organization known as the Kokukai, Black Oni Society, who oppose the Imperial Assault Force. Their ultimate goal remains shrouded in secrecy, but they are clearly targeting the capital and the Empire itself. The article reveals some of the key figures within the Kokukai, including the enigmatic leader, Oni Ou, Demon King, and 4 of the 5 known 5-element priests, or Gokogyo. These are powerful warriors whose bodies have been enhanced by dark magic. Featured among the Gokogyo are Kongu, the leader of the group, a straightforward swordsman who lives for battle, Kasha, a nihilistic warrior who wields fire and sees weaklings as trash, and Tsuchigumo, a 6-armed hunter who despises magic and holds a deep hatred for the Flower Division. The Oni Ou is shown wearing a fearsome mask, his true identity and powers completely unknown, adding to the mystery surrounding the Kokukai. The page also includes a section referencing the enemies from the first Sakura Wars game, drawing a comparison to the new threat posed by the Kokukai. This page dives deep into the battle system of Sakura Wars 2, highlighting how the game balances its adventure and simulation aspects. It reveals the full suite of commands available during tactical combat, moving beyond the partial glimpses shown previously. Players can issue various commands to their units each turn, typically allowing 2 actions. These include fundamental actions like movement, attacking, normal or special, and defensive maneuvers, defend, recover. Beyond these, there are strategic commands such as checking unit order, accessing detailed information about units, and communicating with allies for tactical advice. The communication command is now a dedicated option, featuring character portraits like Kana, providing mission-critical instructions. And a major new addition is the commander command, exclusive to Ugami. This powerful feature allows him to choose one of 4 strategic stances: wind, forest, fire, or mountain, which globally alter the performance of all Flower Division units. For example, the wind strategy boosts movement range while slightly reducing defense, ideal for closing distance quickly. This command doesn't consume an action, and can be used dynamically to adapt to the changing battlefield situation, adding a significant layer of strategy to the game's already deep combat. The screenshots vividly demonstrate these systems, showing command menus, unit stats, and the visual effects of activating the new commander command. This page continues the extensive feature on Sakura Wars 2, highlighting key combat system elements. The first point discusses the return of the crucial cover command. This command, exclusive to Ugami, allows him to designate a teammate to protect. If that teammate is attacked, Ugami will automatically intercept the blow, taking the damage instead. Like in the previous game, this action not only shields the ally from harm, but also significantly boosts their trust level, making it a vital tool for both survival and relationship building. Screenshots demonstrate Ugami selecting the command, choosing a teammate like Sakura, Ugami jumping in to defend her during an attack, and Sakura expressing her gratitude afterward. The second major point reveals the new cooperative attack system. This innovative system, which replaces the critical hit system from the first game, allows teammates whose attack ranges overlap to potentially perform a joint attack. This cooperative action triggers with a certain probability, influenced by factors like character compatibility. When successful, the attack features cutened portraits of the participating characters and deals higher damage than a standard attack. The page notes that strategically positioning units to maximize overlapping attack ranges is key to frequently utilizing this powerful ability. Screenshots show a character's attack range, the visual flash effect indicating a cooperative attack, a character initiating an attack, and a joint attack being executed by multiple units. A small image references the combined attacks from the previous game as a point of comparison. This page delves further into the combat system of Sakura Wars 2, focusing on the fundamental normal attack. It highlights that among the various attack methods, the normal attack is the most frequently used and holds significant importance. Mastering this basic attack is crucial for achieving victory. The page then introduces two key characters. First is Leni Milchstrasse, a cold and stoic soldier from Germany. Her standard attack utilizes a lance, similar to Sumeyer's Naginata from the previous game, offering a long reach that allows her to attack distant enemies. The text notes her Kobu, spirit armor, is German-made, not a domestic model, and powered by 3 rotary spirit engines, hinting at formidable power and speed. Screenshots show Likeni and her blue Kobu in action. Next is Ichiro Olugami, returning as the protagonist. Like before, he pilots the white Kobu. His armament remains the powerful dual swords, ideal for close-quarters combat. While swords offer shorter range compared to some weapons, they deliver strong attacks. Ogami is described as a unit suited for actively engaging in melee combat, though his durability requires attention. A large portrait of Okagami is shown, noted to appear during combat selection to better convey emotion. Screenshots depict Okandigami and his white Kobu, including a scene of him performing an attack with both swords. The bottom text mentions his swordsmanship is unique, capable of cutting enemies with a single stroke. Sakura Wars 2 is touted as the biggest, strongest, fastest installment. The report focuses on 3 key characters and their fighting styles. Sakura Shinguji, a close-quarters combat specialist, utilizes her katana and revised pink Kobu for powerful attacks. Iris, Chateaubriand, an 11-year-old with immense power, attacks with radiant flowers from her yellow Kobu, in addition to healing allies. Kuran Ri, the mechanical expert, uses her green Kobukai equipped with a launcher for rear support, relying on tools and robots for versatile attacks, including recovery, contingent on high morale. This page delves into the exciting new special attacks featured in Sakura Wars 2. Building upon the foundation of regular attacks, these powerful Hisatsu Kugeki are crucial for overcoming tough situations or enemies. They are unleashed once a character's morale gauge is completely filled. While critical attacks from the previous game are no longer present, the article notes that combination attacks might still make an appearance. The first special attack introduced is Leni Milchstrasse's Das Rheingold. This move involves her expertly using her lance to pierce the ground, generating a potent energy wave that engulfs nearby enemies. The article estimates its effective range might extend up to 2 grid squares. Next up is Ichiro Ogami's new special attack, Ruko Mekyaku Tenshi Ishi. This attack requires both physical power and mental spirit, utilizing his dual swords. Although its range isn't particularly wide, the text emphasizes its incredible power, making it ideal for taking down bosses or formidable foes. Players have the tactical choice of using it as an opening move or a finishing blow, but are cautioned against holding onto it for too long and risking defeat. The article also hints that the special attacks for other key characters like Kana, Maria, Sumire, and Orihime will be detailed in upcoming issues. This page showcases more powerful Hisatsu Kugeki special attacks from Sakura Wars 2. First up is Sakura Shinguji's ultimate technique, Haja Kenran Uka Musu. Derived from previous forms, this powerful sword technique is the final secret art of the Hokushin Ipikena Kitoryu. While its exact power and range are noted as still being revealed, it's clearly a devastating attack, potentially targeting enemies in a linear fashion as shown in the screenshots. Next, Iris Chateaubriand features her special attack, Iris's Pretty Jean-Paul. True to her nature, this is a recovery ability. Using it, summons numerous small Jean-Paul teddy bears that significantly heal the durability of all nearby allies. It's most efficient when your team is clustered, but the text warns this also makes you a prime target for enemy area attacks, suggesting it requires careful timing. Finally, Likuran unleashes her Mahjong Robo. Continuing her style from the first game, Kuran employs a robot for her special. This new model, deployed from her Kubukai, is based on a Mahjong tile. These large Mahjong tile robots launch themselves at enemies, delivering significant damage. The attack seems designed for direct impact, and likely has an area of effect, making it effective against tough foes or grouped enemies. This page brings us special information about the Sakura Wars original video animation series, specifically focusing on the third episode. The OVA series, titled Uka Kenran, has already seen its first 2 episodes released to a positive reception, even ranking high on sales charts, setting the stage for the story's progression. The main feature here is the upcoming third episode, Spring's Gentle First Battle, which is scheduled for release on May 25th. The page includes screenshots depicting key moments from the OVA. One section highlights Sakura Shinguji's official entry into the Imperial Combat Review's Flower Division, showing the somewhat intimidating welcome she receives from fellow members Maria Tachibana, Sumire Kanzaki, and Iris Chateaubriand. Another section focuses on a confrontation between Sakura and Sumire, showcasing Sumire's strong personality and pride, leading to a tense moment. The page also provides a brief synopsis of the first 2 OVA episodes. The first episode, Battle in the Flower Capital, introduces the Taisho-era setting, the threat of demons, and the establishment of the Imperial Combat Review under General Yoneda, culminating in the completion of the Kubu units. The second episode, Release the Sacred Sword onto the Sakura Flower, details Sakura's training and mastery of the Hokushin Itakutoryu ultimate technique, achieved after Yoneda visits her in Sendai. It also touches upon Kana Kirishima's subplot involving her father's killer and her impetuous departure from the review. The release details for the first 2 episodes are also listed, mentioning they are already available. This page dives deeper into the Sakura Wars original video animation series, specifically highlighting key moments from the third episode of Sakura Wars, U Kenshika Kenran. We see screenshots from the upcoming episode, which depicts the Imperial Combat Review facing their first major crisis. One section describes a practice session, where Sakura struggles to master her Kubu unit, contrasting her difficulties with the progress of Maria, Sumire, and Iris. Despite her efforts, her performance is disappointing, causing concern for General Yoneda. The page then shifts to the impending threat. The arrival of the Black Nest Society, led by figures like Tenkai and Kotetsu. Their attack sets the Imperial capital ablaze, pushing the Imperial Combat Review, or Taigeki, into a desperate situation. The narrative emphasizes that individual skill isn't enough. Unity within the Flower Division is crucial to overcome this challenge. Screenshots show the menacing enemy Kubu designs and the chaos of the invasion. The segment questions how Sakura will rise to the occasion during this critical battle. Also featured is an announcement for the official Sakura Wars fan club, the Taisho Roman Club, promising members exclusive access to deep information, goods, and priority booking for shows and concerts for an annual fee of 5,000 yen. This section teases coverage of the fan club in the next issue, including an interview with Red Company representative Oji Hiroi. The page also includes contact details and website information for the fan club office. Super Robot Wars F Final Chapter Episodes 36 and 37 are examined, showcasing the diverging paths of the Real and Super Robot series routes. The story accelerates, introducing key characters like Annabelle Gato and Paptimus Sirocco. The London Bell team, after defending Frontier 4, heads to Axis, recruiting Seabook and Cecily. They gain reinforcements at La Vie en Rose, the ZZ Gundam, and the GP-03 Dendrobium. Their journey is impeded by Anavel Gato's GPO-2A Physalis. 56. Episode 36 focuses on this confrontation. The game highlights new playable units, like Ryun Zoldark's Valsione R and Sleger Law's Core Booster. Notable enemy units include Anavel Gato's GPO-2A and Carius Bao. The page features character portraits and screenshots, emphasizing the game's strategic battles and character interactions. Following the previous episode, Lundo Bell faces Anavel Gato and his GPO-2, a Physalis, the Nightmare of Solomon, armed with an atomic bazooka. The team gains powerful new allies, the ZZ Gundam with its beam coat, and the GPO-3 Dendrobium, a moving armory. Gato's parrying and shield skills make him a tough foe, requiring a swift defeat. Success grants valuable supplies and units, including the Core Booster and Burr Cannon. Ryun Zoldark's Valsione R rejoins, unleashing its signature Psycho Blaster map weapon alongside its other attacks. This victory pushes Lundo Bell towards Axis, expanding their roster and setting the stage for further battles. The next page details Episode 37, focusing on the assault on the DC's headquarters at Axis. Following the previous battles, the Lundo Bell team arrives at Axis, facing significantly higher enemy numbers. A clever strategy is proposed. An elite force will act as a decoy, drawing out the enemy while the main fleet prepares for a decisive strike. However, Axis's forces prove unexpectedly strong, spearheaded by the formidable Heyman Karn herself, piloting the Quabli. Her overwhelming power, including the ability to move twice, pushes the team to the brink, though she eventually withdraws. This episode introduces several key enemy figures from the DC, including Meshi Marcello, Arias Moma, and Elia Pazom, all frequently piloting the Hama Hama mobile suit, alongside Got and Go in the Transport Endra. While some of these pilots are quite weak, Mashima's boastful personality stands out, and Elia is noted as Heyman's right hand, yet surprisingly vulnerable. The page also highlights a neutral character, Quatre Rabert Riba winner, piloting the Gundam Sandrock. He's the first character from Gundam Wing who can be convinced to join, but be warned, he attacks relentlessly until persuaded. Valuable map weapons gained in the previous episode, like those from the Cybuster, Valsione R, ZZ, and GPO-3, are emphasized as being crucial for clearing out the many enemies here. This page delves deeper into the intense battle for Axis, confirming the presence of Heyman Karn and the difficulty of her persuasion event due to her Quabli's double action and high power, aligning with the previous details. It also covers the recruitment of Quatre Rabert Berba winner and the Gundam Sandrock, showing how Amuro and Camille can sway him from his colony-focused mindset as he begins to doubt the Titans. However, the page then introduces a major twist, a strange pressure engulfing Axis, hinting at a significant plot development. This pressure is linked to the intersecting intentions of three key figures: Bask Om, Yamitov Hyman, and, most surprisingly, Paptimus Sirocco. Believed to have died in the previous war, Sirocco has returned, now apparently aligned with Yamitov's Titans. Screenshots show Sirocco piloting his menacing suit, the O, in action, highlighting his formidable power against familiar units like Ryun's Valsione Fry. His sudden reappearance in connection to the mysterious force around Axis signal a dramatic shift in the story. This page continues the deep dive into Super Robot Wars F Final, opening the second session of the Deluxe Super Robot Lab. It highlights the intensity of the game, especially the impact of the upcoming final chapter, urging fans to send in their postcards and power to the research team. The page features fan contributions, including a detailed illustration of the Quinn Mantha mobile suit, and another, of Lucrezia Nunn from Gundam Wing. These submissions show the community's passion for the game's diverse roster. It also offers recommendations. A must-have reference book titled Sunrise Anime Super Data File, covering iconic robots from Zambot 3 to Geo Gaigar, packed with information on TV series, OVAs, movies, and related materials. And a recommended music album, Mazinger Densetsu, featuring classic robot anime theme songs by Go Nagai, including tracks from UFO Robo Grendizer, Groiser X, and Steel JEEG. Finally, there's a quote of the week related to the game, this time featuring Dabamairode's line about the full game's mobility, a quote that resonates with players familiar with the game's unit performance. The page wraps up by repeating the call for more fan mail, showing the lab thrives on community interaction. This page gives us a special report on Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel, an adventure game making its debut on the SEGA Saturn. The game explores an unrevealed truth and hidden mystery centered around a second mysterious moving object discovered submerged in Lake Ashi, distinct from the first one witnessed there. Frustrated by the lack of information from Nerve Command, Misato takes matters into her own hands, attempting to lure out the object using a new weapon. The story follows her pursuit to uncover the truth, culminating 13 days later, which players will experience firsthand. The page features screenshots showing familiar faces like Misato and Shinji, as well as Rei Ayanami in her entry plug, hinting at character interactions and plot moments. A unique illustration depicts Evangelion Unit 01 engaging in some unconventional activity, fishing with a massive rod, humorously labeled as a vertical-type angel catcher, suggesting the game might blend serious plot with some lighter, character-focused elements typical of adventure games. This title was showcased at the Tokyo Game Show 98 Spring, promising a significant release for Evangelion fans on the platform. It was scheduled for release on March 26th, priced at 6,800 yen, and comes on 2 discs, suggesting a substantial amount of content for this new adventure set in the Evangelion universe. This page delves deeper into the narrative of Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel, focusing on the personal struggles of Shinji and the looming threat from Lake Ahashi. The article highlights Shinji's internal conflict and feelings of powerlessness, particularly after a mission gone wrong, despite Misato's attempts to reassure him that he did well. We see scenes of Shinji at school, receiving comfort from friends like Tuji and Kensuke, and later being gently encouraged by Misato. A significant plot point revealed is Misato's plan to invite Mana Kirishima over for dinner, showing her caring side and potentially introducing key character interactions. However, the page quickly shifts focus to the mysterious moving object submerged in Lake Ashi. The military attempts to confront this colossal entity when it emerges, but proves completely ineffective against it, emphasizing the scale of the new threat. Shinji is depicted questioning Misato about why the EVAs are not being deployed, revealing Nerve's strategic decisions, or lack thereof, and adding to the tension. The page effectively sets up the personal and existential challenges the characters face as the mystery of the second entity unfolds. This page continues the coverage of Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel, diving deeper into the intense character interactions and conflicts central to the game's story. It prominently features powerful quotes from key characters, reflecting their emotional states and positions within the narrative. We see striking images of Shinji and Asuka, highlighting their complex relationship, alongside the iconic Unit 01. The page features Asuka's raw vulnerability and frustration, with lines like, "You've come to dislike me, right? It's fine if you hate me even more," and her defiant, "But you know, I won't lose. I can't lose." Shinji's inner turmoil is captured in his reaction to his father, Gendo, exclaiming, "What right does my father have to say something like that?" Ritsuko Akagi is also featured, delivering a stern warning to Shinji. "Shinji-kun, watch your words. You are trying to betray everyone at Nerve." Even Gendo Ikari's cold pragmatism is on display with his assertion, "Let them do as they please. They should learn from their mistakes the hard way." The article provides context for these moments, discussing Asuka's emotional outburst towards Shinji, and Ritsuko's analysis of Shinji's attitude following a difficult mission. There's also a brief mention of the mysterious moving object from Lake Akashi passing by National Route 75, hinting at the escalating threat the characters face. The page effectively conveys the high-stakes drama and personal conflicts that players will experience in the game. This page features an interview with Kenji Ino, the creator of the unique audio-only game series, Real Sound. It focuses on the upcoming second title, Real Sound 2, Orgel of the Mist, following up on the previous game, Real Sound, Wind's Regret. Ino discusses the challenges and thought process behind creating an interactive experience relying purely on sound. He reveals that the theme for the second game is fear, exploring how to evoke terror without any visuals. He also talks about the game's structure, explaining that unlike the first game where choices were limited, Real Sound 2 features a system where every decision accumulates and influences the outcome significantly, comparing it to the way major life events build upon each other. He touches upon the reception of the first game, noting its initial modest sales of 25,000 units, before unexpectedly climbing to over 100,000. He also mentions collaborating with musician Ryuichi Sakamoto on the project. Real Sound 2, Origin of the Mist is scheduled for a June release at 5,800 yen and comes on a 2-disc set. It's fascinating to hear Ino's perspective on pushing the boundaries of what a game can be by removing the visual element entirely and focusing on the power of audio to tell a story and create atmosphere. This page continues the interview with Kenji Ino. He elaborates on his philosophy of creating games, stating that even within the same series, he wants to present something different each time, like giving a unique gift. Regarding the Real Sound series, he discusses how the second game differs from the first, particularly in its structure. He mentions that unlike the branching choices in the first Real Sound, Wind's Regret Real Sound 2, Origin of the Mist is designed more like a linear experience, but where accumulated choices subtly influence the outcome, comparing it to life events building upon each other. Ino touches upon his work on other games like D's Diner, and Enemy Zero, noting how they fit into his concept of making unique experiences, even referencing the structure of Alien 1 and 2. He also shifts to discussing the state of the industry, reminiscing about the success of the Super Famicom, SNES, and its long lifespan, particularly the strong software sales in 1996. He also briefly mentions the possibility of Sega releasing new hardware. The overall tone reflects Ino's passion for pushing creative boundaries and making distinct, memorable games. This page continues the interview with Kenji Ino. He discusses the unique sound design philosophy behind Real Sound 2, or Gel of the Mist, contrasting it with the first game, Real Sound, Wind's Regret. For Orgel of the Mist, Ino aimed for a minimalistic approach, emphasizing specific sounds like footsteps on different surfaces, grass, concrete, iron plates, to create atmosphere and tension, deliberately omitting extraneous noise. He notes that, while Wind's Regret featured a wider variety of sounds, Orgel of the Mist focuses intensely on a select few to draw the player in. Regarding gameplay, Ino explains that Orgel of the Mist is designed to be more active and requires quicker decisions compared to the first game. He mentions the core interaction involves using the directional buttons, left or right, in specific sequences, 3 times or 2 times, depending on the context. He feels this method, alongside the focused sound design, makes the experience more immersive. He also comments that he likes the title Orgel of the Mist, finding it fitting for the game's narrative. The page features a clear photo of Kenji Ino. This page continues the interview with Kenji Ino, delving into both his personal life and his thoughts on game development and the upcoming game show. Ino shares that he has been busy, recently visiting a shrine for good luck related to game sales, and researching horror by looking up terms like horror and psychic online, finding some photos quite frightening. He humorously recounts a surprising moment where a digital piano seemed to play itself. He ponders the nature of fear, suggesting that sound can be more effective than visuals in creating a sense of terror, especially when it leads to jump scares. Looking ahead to the game show, Ino explains that there are no big presentations planned for the Sega stage this time, unlike the press event for Real Sound, Wind's Regret. Instead, he plans to spend his time at the Sega booth more casually, walking around the floor and hoping to see the faces of the people attending. He intends to wander freely as there is no fixed main stage event for him. This page features the upcoming Sega Saturn title, Super Real Mahjong P7, from SEGA. This Mahjong game is scheduled for release on May 14th, and is recommended for players aged 18 and over, supporting single-player only. The page highlights the game's high-quality animation, boasting over 2,000 total frames and significantly powered-up production values. A major new feature for the series is the adoption of a multi-scenario system. The story is said to be as numerous as the heroines themselves. Players can choose from different story paths, including Yurina's heart-pounding love motion, Natsuki's tearful mahjong fight, and Sarika-sensei's wonderful extracurricular lesson. These scenarios, set at an Izu villa during summer, affect the player's position and the order of opponents they face, as they are challenged to mahjong matches by the various girls. Screenshots showcase the animated characters and the mahjong gameplay interface, emphasizing renewed character windows. This page showcases more exciting details about Super Real Mahjong P7, also known by the subtitle, Chase the Mystery of Kyoko Mabina Hayoko Knows, highlighting content exclusive to the Sega Saturn release. The major draw here is the inclusion of extensive original animation not seen in the arcade version. These new scenes feature the heroines, Yurina, Natsuki, and Sarika, in various relaxing scenarios outside of their mahjong matches, Set at a luxurious villa, you'll see events take place at the pool, the private beach, and even an open-air bath. The developers emphasize that these moments provide a chance to see the girls show different expressions and are presented with stimulating poses and angles. Beyond the animation, the package includes fan-coveted bonus items like original trading cards and special collectible cell sheets. Adding further value, the Saturn version boasts a brand new opening theme song performed by the voice actor for Sarika. Clearly, SEGA is packing the Saturn release with unique content to entice players. And, as the page teases, there are still more Saturn-exclusive elements to uncover on the following page. Super Real Mahjong Piece 7 features the Asahina sisters, Natsuki, an 18-year-old high schooler, and Yurina, a 15-year-old middle schooler. The game focuses on mahjong, with losing resulting in stripping scenes. Natsuki, a sporty and competitive character, is described with her profile including age, height, measurements, likes, and dislikes, such as a preference for straightforward people. Yurina, the younger sister, is depicted as friendly and seeks an older brother figure, also detailed with her own preferences. The game also includes a Saturn-exclusive Super Real Mahjong quiz, where answering character-specific questions unlocks 40 high-resolution reward graphics, including illustrations and strip scenes, enhancing the collector's experience. This page continues the character introductions for Super Real Mahjong Piece 7. We meet Randao Ashika, who serves as the private tutor and mahjong instructor for the Asahina family. At 25 years old, she has a strict demeanor but a hidden bold side, and enjoys ethnic food and driving. The page also introduces Toyohara Etsuko, a pure and innocent 20-year-old university student helping out at the villa for the summer. She's described as mild-mannered and kind, aspiring to be a kindergarten teacher. Illustrations show both characters, including Ashika in lingerie and Etsuko in a maid outfit, fitting the game's theme. A gameplay hint suggests it's possible to defeat Etsuko, who isn't normally a direct opponent, by achieving specific wins against other characters. Additionally, there's a look at a bonus feature called the PA 7 Artbook Etsuko's Room, which appears to be a gallery mode containing character designs, backgrounds, and original costume concepts, including swimwear, adding to the game's unlockable content. Finally, a special present offer details a chance to win promotional posters and signed artboards featuring characters from the game. This page provides a special report on Super Tempo for the SEGA Saturn, developed by Red Company. Presented as a powered-up version of the original Tempo from the Mega Drive 32X, this music action game focuses on detailed character animation and musicality. Players control the grasshopper Tempo and his partner Katie the cabbage butterfly, as they adventure through musical worlds, collecting musical notes and dolls. These collectibles are then exchanged for furniture and items after clearing stages, allowing players to decorate their room and increase their rich rank. The story centers around Tempo and Katie's quest to chase the happy blue bird and get rich, a departure from their previously peaceful life, which was disrupted by the machine planet Tekuno. The page features a large, vibrant illustration of the main characters and various enemies, along with a screenshot showing gameplay in a stage. The report notes Red Company's unique sense shining through in the game. This page continues the report on Super Tempo, detailing the adventure of Tempo and Katie through the music world. It highlights the game's cute and comical action, driven by simple jump and attack controls, with unique abilities for Tempo using instruments and Katie being able to fly. The report mentions the Voice C mode, where sound effects are replaced with voices, adding a unique touch. The main objective is to get rich by exploring the mysterious house called Buobo's. As Tempo and Katie adventure, they collect musical notes which can be exchanged for valuable furniture and dolls at the house's settlement room on the second floor. Decorating the first floor room with these items increases their rich rank. Screenshots show the richly decorated room and gameplay. True to its musical theme, the game is filled with rhythmic elements. Collecting notes creates melodies, and even interacting with the environment, like stepping on frog pads, becomes a musical performance akin to playing a keyboard for the frog song. The page also showcases various mini-games available at the Game Center, such as a karate rhythm game, where players press buttons in time with cymbal sounds. Other screenshots depict Tempo collecting notes on a spinning windmill and interacting with the frog characters, reinforcing the variety of musical and rhythmic challenges. The page emphasizes the visual appeal of the characters and their actions. This page continues the look at Super Tempo, focusing on its early stages. Stage 1, the Frog Forest, is where Tempo and Katie embark on their journey after learning about the music world's predicament and the capture of Kantamaru by Teknok. The stage culminates in a boss battle against the Frog King, where players can transform into muscle tempo by collecting specific items. Moving on, Stage 2 is Bremen Village. Here, the goal is to gather the 4 Bremen musicians: the cat, dog, chicken, and donkey, whose performance summons a giant arm to transport Tempo and Katie. This stage is also where Katie becomes a playable character, with the ability to fly freely. An exciting discovery in Stage 2 is the Game Center, which features multiple mini-games like Pizza 2, Karate, and Samurai, described as being quite addictive. The page highlights the charming character designs, including the 4 Bremen musicians, and provides glimpses of the diverse musical challenges and environments Tempo and Katie will encounter. This page is the cover for the official strategy guide for the Sega Saturn game, Burning Rangers. The artwork features the game's main protagonists. Chris Parton takes center stage with Shao Amabane and Tillis on either side, and Big Landman depicted in the background. The tagline at the top hints at the game's themes of time, life, and luck. The guide is presented as an exclusive, official publication covering everything players need to know to succeed. It promises easy-to-understand explanations of the basic controls and gameplay system. It will provide detailed maps to help navigate the complex stage layouts and offers a comprehensive strategy section for the unique Generate system, which is crucial for finding hidden items and rescuing survivors. The guide also includes behind-the-scenes content like character setting materials for the Burning Rangers team and comments directly from Sonic Team, along with reader presence. The main goal emphasized is to rescue all the people who need help, using the information within this single book. The guide was scheduled for release in mid-March, featuring 104 pages in a 5 size, priced at 1,000 yen. This is an essential resource for anyone looking to master this challenging and memorable Saturn title. This page features a spread dedicated to the King of Fighters 97, highlighting the upcoming Sega Saturn release. The page showcases striking character artwork featuring key figures like Kyo Kusanagi, Iori Yagami, Chizuru Kagura, and Shingo Yabuki. It dives into the game's combat system, specifically focusing on the different types of special techniques available to fighters. Standard special moves, powerful special moves, and devastating super special moves. Screenshots are provided to illustrate these moves in action during gameplay. A notable point discussed for the Saturn version is the ability to assign special moves to single buttons using the expansion RAM cartridge, simplifying execution for players. This coverage gives prospective buyers a good overview of the game's core mechanics and the unique features of the Saturn port. This page continues the deep dive into the King of Fighters 97, focusing on additional key fighters and the newly introduced team. Featured prominently are Iori Yagami, Shingo Yabuki, and the new Faces team consisting of Yashiro Nanakase, Shermie, and Chris. Iori Yagami's section highlights his essential special moves like the flame-based Oniaki and Abui Hana, and his signature grab, Ya Otome, noting their high usage frequency due to their speed and ability to leave opponents open. Shingo Yabuki, who idolizes Kyo, is described with his own set of moves, some noted as unfinished, but still effective. Moves like Dakugami are pointed out as excellent for starting combos due to their quick startup. The new Faces team is introduced as powerful newcomers. Ichiro's description emphasizes his strong special moves, particularly the sledgehammer, which has invincibility on startup, and is great for dealing with opponents on wake-up. Shermie, despite her appearance, is presented as a character primarily focused on powerful throws, excelling in close-range combat, or when closing distance with dashes or jumps. Chris is noted for his tricky, mobile special moves, useful for both offense and countering opponents. Each character section includes lists detailing their special move inputs, and accompanying screenshots show these characters in action during gameplay. A key tip at the bottom clarifies that special moves can be cancelled from normal moves, and certain special moves can even be cancelled into super special moves. This page continues the coverage of the King of Fighters 97, focusing on 2 classic teams. First up is the Japan team, featuring Kyo Kusanagi, Benimaru Nikaido, and Goro Daimon. Kyo is presented as a highly versatile fighter with numerous special moves and strong anti-air options, capable of linking moves into devastating combos. Benimaru is highlighted for his speed and tricky tactics, utilizing lightning attacks and throws to keep opponents off balance. Daimon is a powerful grappler who excels at close range, capable of landing big throws after dashes or knockdowns. The second team featured is the legendary Fatal Fury team. Terry Bogard and Diggly Bogard and Joe Higashi, main characters from the Fatal Fury series. Terry is a strong all-around fighter with good rushdown tools. His power charge is noted as a crucial move for extending combos and connecting to super moves. Andy relies on confusing opponents with tricky moves and teleporting attacks, using his mobility to create openings. Joe is a fast and aggressive fighter known for his rapid punches and kicks, excellent anti-airs, and throws, allowing him to apply constant pressure. The page includes lists of their special move inputs and strategy tips for each character.
A final tip at the bottom discusses the guarding properties of certain special moves.
This page continues the in-depth look at the King of Fighters 97 teams, featuring two iconic groups from other SNK series. First up is the Art of Fighting team, showcasing Ryo Sakazaki, Robert Garcia, and Yuri Sakazaki. Ryo is highlighted as a strong offensive character whose Raijin Gao projectile attack is effective for defense and rushing forward, and he can pursue airborne opponents after his Kyokugen Ryu Renbu Ken command throw. Robert is presented as having a similar fighting style to Ryo, excelling with rushdown attacks like Hien Senpu Kyaku, which is difficult to counter when guarded. Yuri's fighting style has changed significantly, and she now requires strategic use of her versatile special moves to adapt to different situations. Screenshots throughout this section demonstrate the characters in action.
Next is the Ikari Warriors team, featuring Leona Heidern, Ralph Jones, and Clark Steele. Leona is described as effective with her Moonslasher for anti-air defense and combos, emphasizing the importance of utilizing her high mobility and normal attacks. Clark is noted for his grappling prowess, particularly his rolling attacks and devastating backbreakers, making him a threat up close. Ralph is characterized by his strong normal attacks and effective special moves. His Kyukoka Bakudan punch is useful for controlling the air, and his Ralph kick is key for combos. The page concludes with a tip, noting that the Saturn version of KOF 97 allows for input buffering, unlike the arcade version. This page continues the focus on the King of Fighters 97 teams, introducing the Psycho Soldier team and the new Women Fighters team. The Psycho Soldier team features Athena Asamiya and Chin Gensai. Athena is described as having tricky movement with her special teleport, and her Psycho Sword, usable in the air, is a primary attack. Chin Gensai utilizes tricky special moves for surprising opponents, with his Willow Branch attack noted as effective against strikes, though he is weak against anti-air attacks, excelling in combos. Screenshots show both characters in action. The new Women Fighters team includes Mai Shiranui and King, with Chizuru Kagura, the previous game's boss, joining their ranks. Mai Shiranui has many useful rushdown options, with her Flying Squirrel Drill being a strong anti-air, and her White Heron Dance being difficult to punish when guarded, dealing significant damage. King's special moves are highlighted for their high attack power and effectiveness in combos, though her moves can be slow to start, making her strong for anti-air and zoning. Screenshots display Mei and King fighting. A tip on the page discusses the ability to cancel normal moves into special moves immediately afterwards, a technique from the arcade version now present on the Saturn. It also mentions feinting with an empty jump to surprise opponents with a special move. This page delves into two teams from the King of Fighters 97, the Kim team and the 97 Special team. The Kim team features Kim Kafwan and his students. Kim is a kick-based fighter with strong rushdown and anti-air options. Chang Kohan is a slow but powerful grappler, relying on iron ball techniques. Choi Bounge is a quick, agile character known for aerial attacks. The 97 Special team comprises Ryuji Yamazaki, Blue Mary, and Billy Kane. Yamazaki uses snake hand techniques, offering attacks at various ranges and the ability to cancel moves. Blue Mary is a grappling expert with excellent mobility, using throws and ground attacks. Billy Kane is a staff-wielding fighter with long-range attacks and follow-up moves. The page provides screenshots and breakdowns of the team's special moves and button inputs. This page features a special report on Puyo Puyo Dungeon, an adventure RPG, starring the popular characters from the Puyo Puyo series. The report emphasizes the game's high degree of freedom and the various enjoyable elements it offers. Screenshots showcase the dungeon exploration gameplay, featuring familiar faces like Artel, Carbuncle, Scherzo, and Rulyu, navigating labyrinthine levels,
engaging in battles, and interacting with traps. The game is described as a one-player adventure RPG, suitable for all ages. A significant portion of the page is dedicated to explaining the ranking system for the game's attractions. This system allows players to compete for high scores, calculated based on the money and items they have upon clearing an attraction. An interesting twist is that items carried into an attraction count as minus points, leading to potentially massive negative scores if you're poorly prepared, which the reporter Kikimura finds amusing. Achieving high scores can also lead to special in-game rewards. The page also mentions an event or content related to Puyo Puyo Dungeon being hosted on Compile's homepage via the internet, suggesting online engagement opportunities like quizzes and puzzle solving. This page delves into the special abilities that players can acquire during their adventure in Puyo Puyo Dungeon. These abilities, including discrimination, item appraisal, trap handling, and synthesis, become available as you progress and significantly aid in dungeon exploration. Proficiency in each ability is represented by a level, which improves with use. A prominent ability is item appraisal, allowing players to identify mystery items found in dungeons using MP. While incredibly useful for knowing what an item does, success isn't guaranteed, especially for rare items, and failure can consume a significant amount of MP. Strategic appraisal is key, as knowing an item's true effect can prevent negative consequences from minus items. Screenshots show the item menu and the appraisal process. The trap ability helps players interact with the various traps scattered throughout dungeons. It influences how easily you might step on a trap and your success rate at disarming them. While leveling up this ability makes traversing safer, failure can still lead to falling victim to a trap, like the disorienting pitch black trap. Screenshots illustrate encountering and dealing with traps. It's also mentioned that your partner characters can get caught in traps, adding a layer of challenge and potential amusement. The page features screenshots showing Artel, Carbuncle, Scherzo, and Rulyu interacting with items and traps in the dungeon environment. Puyo Puyo Dungeon's synthesis ability lets players combine equipment to create new items. Specific combinations yield powerful results. For example, combining a ring of fire and a ring of ice creates a ring of ice flame. Success depends on factors like item level and costs MP. Synthesis isn't always guaranteed, but is crucial for obtaining superior or exclusive items. A new, challenging dungeon awaits, featuring strong enemies, complex layouts, and punishing monster groupings. Leveling up is essential for success. Other helpful features include warps, which transport you around the floor, and strengthening magic circles, providing temporary attack and defense boosts. This page continues to delve into the details of the game, following up on the previous discussion about synthesis. It touches upon various systems such as item identification, effective trap usage, and the wealth of possibilities available in the game, promising that more in-depth explanations will come after release. A developer diary entry from Dosukoi Koka is also featured. He reflects on completing development and the changing seasons, drawing a parallel between pollen allergies and protective items within the game world. He mentions items that guard against pollen, bad smells, and gas, hinting at the practical utility of various equipment. He also muses on item efficiency and recycling, humorously suggesting the game has an ecology element. The latter half of the page introduces some of the challenging enemies players will face later in the game. It highlights the troublesome Ojama Puyo, known for hindering movement and possessing strong combat power. The Nursebi, Nasubi, variant is shown to heal other monsters and can use a powerful seal ability to prevent special moves. Hatamoto Tomoru is presented as a high-ranking, versatile enemy skilled in both close and long-range combat with potent special attacks. We also see the passive but enduring hard Puyo, Katapuyo, and Kikimura, who can inconveniently clear away both traps and magic formations with her mop, as depicted in accompanying screenshots showing Rulyu interacting with her. Dungeon Master Nexus is a real-time RPG developed by Victor Interactive Software, scheduled for release on March 26. The game, a continuation of the Dungeon Master series, allows for character customization and is aimed at players who enjoy open-ended role-playing experiences. The preview focuses on Gandao, a dwarf hero known for his frontline strength and surprisingly potent spellcasting abilities. The reviewer plans to develop Gandao's abilities evenly. Screenshots showcase character portraits, first-person dungeon exploration, and combat. The page also compares Nexus to its predecessors, Dungeon Master and Chaos Strikes Back, highlighting the evolution of character selection and party management. while maintaining core elements like character portraits. The game revives heroes from crystals, contrasting the wall portrait selection from previous games. Dungeon Master Nexus introduces two heroes, Alex, a nimble, thieving frontline fighter with low magic resistance, and Alicia, a back row elf with high stamina and wisdom, but low strength. The game emphasizes real-time swordplay. Screenshots reveal dungeon environments with a fearsome Reaper enemy, suggesting dangerous encounters. Resurrection mechanics are vital, with altars allowing heroes to revive after death. Environmental puzzles are also present. The page also provides a brief history of the series. Dungeon Master: The Perrin's Quest, a PC Engine Squeedrom squared side story, featured 3 heroes and individual inventories. Dungeon Master 2: Skullkeep introduced a new protagonist, outdoor areas, shops, and mini-quests while retaining core gameplay. Nexus, with its unified inventory system, builds upon this legacy. This page features an interview focusing on the graphics and design of Dungeon Master Nexus. The striking creature depicted on the left is Bolx, a main character designed for the game, intended to have a mysterious and unsettling image that leaves a strong impact. The interview includes Mr. Masuo, who was responsible for designing the main monsters, 3D characters, and the visual world setting for the game's movies, and Mr. Ozaki from Victor Interactive Software. They discuss the process of bringing the monster designs to life through polygon modeling and texturing, emphasizing the goal of having these creatures move realistically in real time within the dungeon environment. A key theme is liberating the image of dungeon RPGs from a design perspective. Mr. Masuo expresses a desire to move beyond the perception that Western games are superior in this genre, aiming instead for a unique Japanese design sensibility for Nexus, especially given the capabilities of the new hardware and its full polygon graphics. The small in-game screenshot illustrates how the polygon work contributes to the strong presence of monsters encountered in the dungeon. Victor Software reportedly did not insist on referencing past Dungeon Master titles for the design direction, allowing for this fresh approach. This page continues the discussion on graphic design, featuring an interview with Takayuki Masuo, representative director of Ludens, a notable figure in CG production for games and other media like Gotha and Ultraman. The interview explores the crucial design node, focusing on the blend of new old and Japanese Western influences in game visuals, particularly for 3D RPGs. The core discussion revolves around the challenge of creating visual designs that appeal to Japanese players, while potentially drawing from Western RPG styles, especially in games like Dungeon Master Nexus. Mr. Masuo and the interviewer discuss how to create impactful visuals within the constraints of 3D polygon graphics, ensuring monsters and environments have a strong presence in the dungeon. Showcased here are illustrations of monster designs by Mr. Masuo, likely from the game being discussed. We see the bizarre worm, a mushroom-like screamer, the unsettling cyclops-like Oitou, and a formidable knight. These designs exemplify the visual direction, aiming for distinctive and memorable creatures that translate well into 3D models and enhance the gameplay experience. The interview emphasizes the desire to move the genre's visuals forward, creating designs that are both effective in 3D and resonate with Japanese players. This page features a special report on the romance simulation game Pia Carrot. The game, titled Welcome to Pia Heart Carrot, was released on March 12th for 6,800 yen and is recommended for ages 18 and up. It supports the Shuttle Mouse and SEGA multi-controller. The report previews the game's premise, which puts players in the role of someone working a summer part-time job at a family restaurant called Carrot. The core gameplay revolves around meeting and interacting with various girls, with events occurring seemingly coincidentally as you manage your job and relationships. The game features unpredictable scenarios, from workplace mishaps to personal interactions, emphasizing that life is interesting precisely because of these unexpected moments. Building affection with the girls is crucial, as many significant events won't trigger without a high affection level, suggesting that indecisiveness is not the path to success. The page includes several illustrations and screenshots, showcasing some of the characters and settings, including scenes on a beach, inside the restaurant, and a character named Satomi, suggesting enjoying a bath together. The overall tone is one of anticipation for the summer job, and the romantic possibilities it holds, encouraging players to work hard and aim for a happy ending. This page continues the report on the romance simulation game Welcome to Pia Heart Carrot, focusing on a summer story element. A significant event highlighted is an Okinawa training trip,
showcasing characters in swimwear enjoying the beach, which aligns with the game's summer setting previously mentioned. Character interactions are featured, including a dialogue with Syoko regarding her swimwear, and a humorous note about a past assumption about white swimsuits being transparent. Another section details a scene involving Syoko receiving unwarranted attention, emphasizing the player character's role in such situations. The page also presents a two-shot of Satomi and Daisuke, hinting at their relationship dynamics outside the restaurant setting. Finally, the report covers the special first production edition of the game, detailing the included bonus items, Purikura-style photo stickers, and original trading cards featuring the game's characters, encouraging players to acquire the limited release quickly. The next page continues the feature on Welcome to Pia Heart Carrot. Focusing on how to make the most of the last summer of high school, the main goal is to deepen relationships with the heroines before the summer ends. Key advice for players is broken down into 3 points. Firstly, staying dedicated to a single heroine is crucial for achieving a happy ending, discouraging wishy-washy behavior. Secondly, managing the protagonist's physical condition is highlighted. Letting it drop too low can lead to bad ends, so using the rest command is recommended. Thirdly, listening to your sister's advice is essential. She can randomly provide hints about the heroine's preferences, guiding players on which parameters to raise to aim for a happy ending. The page also features individual character sections providing tips for romancing 3 heroines. Moriara Satomi. Considered the most difficult, players are advised to raise parameters high, meet her at the park before part-time work, and align work shifts to match her areas, waiter cooking. Inaba Shoko. Presented as relatively easy to romance if you show interest, tips include calling her before work and working the same waiter shifts. Kokubo Raika. Described as friendly and easy to get along with, advice is to accept her invitations, call her before work to boost affection, and note her preference for stylish men while focusing on waiter shifts. Screenshots illustrate in-game menus and character interactions, while character profiles offer targeted strategies for players. This guide explores relationship building in Welcome to Pia Heart Carrot. The save screen displays a portrait of your chosen heroine, and the title screen reflects your progress. Key strategies are outlined for several characters. To romance, Yukiko Kawai. Excel academically and persistently interact, including phone calls. Impress Shiho Kanazuki by working non-Tuesday shifts, focusing on demanding tasks, and improving your stats. For Kiyomi Kitagawa, visit school frequently and boost your academics, prioritizing stamina recovery in your part-time work. To win over Yukari Tachibana, first befriend her grandmother, who controls the daily specials. For Saori Imai, accept her unique invitation and understand her job. Finally, finding a specific doujinshi is key to unlocking a special event with Eri Kashikura. This page features Melty Lancer Reinforce, a dramatic simulation game for the SEGA Saturn. The game presents a detailed story spanning 2 years of in-game time. It begins with a training period for the player character, Rondi, followed by promotion to a regular investigator after the first year. At this point, the narrative branches significantly into 3 different paths, ultimately leading to multiple possible endings. The game is set on a chaotic Earth that has opened its doors to the universe, where various organizations are vying for control. As a member of the Global Police Organization, GPO, the player must confront criminals while also navigating complex relationships, even with Earth's own police forces. The page emphasizes the branching scenario and the variety of unique characters and event graphics players will encounter as they work towards becoming a seasoned rancer. The game, a simulation title, was scheduled for release on May 7, 1998. This page expands on the world of Melty Lancer Reinforce, detailing some of the key organizations and characters the player, Randy, will encounter as part of the Gripo's EMP branch. We're introduced to Milky Mart, a vast galactic supermarket chain with a seemingly innocent Earth branch. But there's a hint of darker schemes led by its branch manager, Yan Xiaoping, alongside Gertrude and Louise Goldmark. Next is the Ishingumi, an elite special squad within the Glipo's EMP branch, comprised entirely of Earthlings. They operate with a fierce rivalry towards alien police forces, and show no mercy to alien criminals. Notable members featured are Mido Reiha, Suma Masaya, Karumi Plana, and Kume Takuma. The Vaniseurs are presented as a new intergalactic entertainment production company, scouting talent across border worlds and now on Earth. However, their activities are shrouded in conspiracy. We see Vanessa, Rigel, Chris, and Ryu Rubenbach associated with this group. Finally, The Hakai Shinkao, or fallen priesthood, is one of the galaxy's major religions, whose followers have become corrupted by greed. Despite their priestly background, they've been disgraced and are seeking quick riches on Earth, represented by Fernates Philly. These diverse groups highlight the complex and dramatic landscape Rondi must navigate. This page dives deeper into the world of Melty Lancer Reinforce, highlighting the sheer volume of event scenes and their presentation. It proudly announces that the game features significantly more visual events than its predecessor, rendered beautifully, especially with the SEGA Saturn's exclusive high-resolution mode. Special Saturn-only events are featured prominently, such as birthday celebrations where characters exchange gifts. The example shown is Sylvia Nimrod giving a present alongside a rather cheeky comment about cousins getting married. The New Year's event is also detailed, showing unique cards received from various characters, including a very traditional Japanese one from Angela and a stylish one from Sylvia. The page also includes a Magical Girl Nana-chan gallery, dedicated to the character Nana Natalicio Nainhalton. She's presented as an outlier in the game's hard SF setting, being a magical girl from another dimension. Despite being described as high-handed and sometimes annoying, the text acknowledges that some fans appreciate her unique personality. The gallery shows Nana in various scenes, like receiving a mystical scroll, enjoying food, and even playing tennis, hinting at her diverse event scenes within the game, including a Valentine's event where she clearly expects a return gift. The page effectively showcases the game's blend of serious sci-fi and lighter character moments. This page showcases more exciting features of Melty Lancer Reinforces on the SEGA Saturn, highlighting upgraded minigames and a peculiar La mode. The minigames are now proper interactive sequences, unlike some PS version events that were just treated as battle mode flows. Examples include a chase minigame involving Angela and a criminal apprehension game featuring Sakuya and Nana, emphasizing action and puzzle elements. The game also boasts a suspicious water mode, or La mode, which puts the EMP Division members in swimsuits during missions. While the unlock condition isn't fully explained, it's speculated to be related to the Saturn's internal clock. The page contrasts the normal and lay modes with screenshots, showing the same scene presented in drastically different attire. Finally, the beautiful graphics are everywhere. The section displays a variety of stunning character art, including Nana in an evening dress and tennis wear, demonstrating the diverse and high-quality event visuals throughout the game. It reinforces the game's blend of serious sci-fi with lighter, fan service-oriented moments. This page highlights ESP's presence at the Tokyo Game Show, featuring various titles at their booth. The main focus is on the newly announced Grandia Digital Museum for the SEGA Saturn. This software acts as an interactive museum dedicated to the beloved RPG, Grandia, allowing fans to delve into its extensive setting materials and data. Presented as the Alent Museum, the game tasks players with exploring new dungeons using the main party members, Justin, Fina, and Sue, who return with their familiar smiles. The goal is to collect items from these dungeons to stock the museum. As more items are deposited, additional character designs, world settings, and other production materials are unlocked for viewing in various rooms within the museum. The museum also features a guide, save points, a shop, and even minigames, making it more than just a static gallery. The included screenshots give a glimpse of the museum's interior and the isometric dungeon exploration gameplay, promising a nostalgic return for Grandia fans, with fresh content in the form of new dungeons. This page delves further into the Alent Museum from Grandia Digital Museum, specifically detailing some of the 5 rooms available for exploration. It reiterates that the museum is built up by the player collecting items in new dungeons. The first room highlighted is the film room, where you can revisit the many expressive facial animations of the characters from Grandia. Pressing a button in front of the projector switches to a window showcasing these familiar faces. Next is the data room, a treasure trove for fans. This room houses a vast collection of setting materials, including world designs, character concepts, and monster artwork. It contains a curated selection of 96 sheets, essential for anyone wanting a deeper understanding of the Grandia universe. The third room is the library, serving as a comprehensive monster database. Here, players can look up every monster that appeared in the original game, finding details like their names, locations where they appear, HP, and special attacks, all presented in text format. It acts as a full encyclopedia of the game's enemies. The page also features character artwork for Sue, the child in the rabbit costume, and Milda, alongside screenshots showing the distinct environments of the film room, data room,
and library within the museum. The mention of minigames from the previous page is reinforced with an image of one of them, promising additional activities beyond just exploring the museum itself. The Allant Museum in Grandia Digital Museum features several engaging areas beyond the initial rooms. The Game Corner offers arcade-style minigames, including Grandia Cup and the returning deck cleaning, with its focus on speed and power. Another highlighted minigame, the Eating Contest King Grandia Cup, features chaotic gameplay, with characters competing to eat the most. The theater allows players to relive memorable scenes in a radio drama format, showcasing iconic moments. The museum is further expanded with new dungeons, offering environments comparable to or exceeding those of the main game, including previously unused areas. Lastly, the Save Data Room allows players to revisit and experience famous scenes from the original Grandia by using their save data. This page features the upcoming SEGA Saturn RPG, Lunar, Eternal Blue. It prominently displays the game's title and provides basic information like publisher, Kadokawa Shoten especially, and its status. Release date and price are listed as undecided. The page highlights the game's arrival on the Saturn, noting that despite delays, the production is progressing well and promises a satisfying result, with upgrades made to the animated cutscenes. The synopsis introduces the main character, Hiro, and his encounter with the mysterious girl Lucia from a blue star, detailing their journey and the development of human emotions. Illustrations showcase key characters. The protagonist Hiro, accompanied by his adorable pink dragon companion Ruby. The imposing figure of Galeon, the heroine Lucia with her regal presence, and the powerful commander, Leo. Screenshots offer a glimpse of the gameplay, including a visually enhanced battle scene with impressive magic effects and a dungeon exploration view. A dedicated section includes interviews with General Director Toshiyuki Hineno and Character Demo Director Toshihiko Akashi. They discuss the development process for the Saturn port, potentially contrasting it with the original Mega CD version, and mentioning the increased emphasis on character expressions and adding emotional depth. Building upon lessons learned from previous projects like Grandia, the developers express their dedication and encourage fans to look forward to the game. This page dives into the details of the upcoming mech combat sequel, Gungrafon 2. The top of the page features striking artwork showing a large bipedal mech in action against attack helicopters, along with the game's bold logo and the joint publisher logos. Game arts, and especially the main body of the page, highlights the game's development progress, noting its release is planned for April 23, 1998. It emphasizes the head-to-head versus play as a major selling point, explaining that it was prominently featured at the Tokyo Game Show. The page goes on to detail the setup required for this versus mode, which utilizes the SEGA Saturn's communication cable. A large image displays the necessary hardware: 2 SEGA Saturn consoles, 2 monitors, controllers, and the communication cable connecting the two systems. Smaller screenshots showcase the game's first-person cockpit view gameplay and external views of mechs in desert environments, providing a glimpse into the action. The text also recommends using headphones for enhanced immersion during gameplay. A small list outlines the gear needed for a 2-player versus battle: 2 monitors, 2 Saturn consoles, 2 copies of Gungrafon 2, 2 controllers, 1 communication cable, and 2 human players. The bottom corner features more screenshots and the copyright information. Gungrafon 2's versus battle mode utilizes an alternating offense/defense system with a time limit per role. Players switch between attacker and defender roles automatically, aiming to destroy their opponent within multiple sets. Victory is earned by destruction, or, failing that, by inflicting less damage across sets. Defenders cannot use primary weapons, but can use support attacks. Holding a lock-on forces a role switch. The setup process involves connecting cables, selecting single-seater, then versus battle, and choosing a stage, e.g., Vladivostok, a mech from a selection of 12, and weapons. Players also decide who attacks first. Screenshots illustrate the menu flow, from mode and stage selection to the final in-game battle, where the objective is pure combat and strategic maneuvering to destroy the enemy mech. This page delves into the 12 distinct units available for versus battle in Gungrafon 2. Building on the previous page's discussion of the mode, it highlights the variety,
from the versatile Hi-Max series mechs to heavily armored four-legged units like the brutal Club 2 and Elephant, and even specialized vehicles like attack helicopters and the Tunguska anti-aircraft platform. The article notes the inherent challenge of pitting a Hi-Max against a Tunguska, but emphasizes that players' skill can overcome unit disadvantages. A key point for series veterans is the mention that owning save data from the original Gungraphon unlocks an additional versus stage, Hejaz, in Saudi Arabia, adding to the default Vladivostok and Lear Hamel maps. The page then showcases the Vladivostok APC airbase stage, describing its close-quarters environment with hangars and low obstacles, suggesting strategies involving taking down parked aircraft and cornering opponents. Finally, several specific units are detailed. The balanced enhanced Hi-Max 2, the incredibly fast ground unit, brutal Club 2, which demands practice due to unique handling, the standard Hi-Max, the swift roller-legged Storm Panther, the mobile but weapon-restricted Jag Panther, and the slow but exceptionally durable and hard-hitting Elephant. Screenshots accompany each unit and stage description, giving a visual taste of the intense mech combat. This page continues the deep dive into Gungraphon 2's versus battle mode, showcasing the diverse stages and units available. It introduces two distinct battlefields: the foggy, nighttime forest of Lillehammer, Norway, where using cover and environmental interaction is crucial, and the open, red desert landscape of Hejaz, Saudi Arabia. Notably, Hejaz is confirmed to be the unlockable stage for veterans with save data from the original game, and its wide-open nature is described as particularly advantageous for helicopters, contrasting with the terrain-heavy Lillehammer. The article then details 6 different combat machines players can pilot. This lineup includes 3 attack helicopters: the versatile AH-64D Longbow Apache, the highly maneuverable but tricky-to-handle Ka-50 Hokum, and the veteran AH-1W Super Cobra, noted as slightly less capable than the others. The ground forces feature 2 main battle tanks: the Israeli Merkava Mk.2I and the Japanese Type 90 tank. Both MBTS are depicted as powerful but challenging, even described as fodder in the game, though a skilled pilot can make them work. The final unit is the unique TUS 6 meters Tunguska, a self-propelled anti-aircraft vehicle equipped with both guns and missiles, designed to excel in air defense, but like the MBTS, is placed in the lowest performance tier within the game, lacking the ability to use its main gun system. This variety ensures plenty of strategic options for players in the versus mode. Baroque, a 3D real-time RPG by Sting, plunges players into a dark and mysterious world. The protagonist, a young man haunted by a sense of sin, wields a unique weapon and the ability to purify aberrants as he ventures toward the ominous Neuro Tower. The game features seamless real-time combat with no separate battle screens. Players have full control, using swords, items, and traps, or strategically retreating. Aberrants exhibit diverse attack patterns, demanding adaptive tactics. The game emphasizes situational awareness and strategic item usage through area attacks. Developed for a May release, Baroque focuses on its unique systems and sound design, which are discussed in an interview with the development team. It is a single-player, 3D RPG. This page delves into the tense combat system of Baroque and features a creator's crosstalk interview. The combat section highlights key equipment items players will utilize. Swords serve as the primary attack method, with different types offering varied effects and boosting the protagonist's attack and defense. The Angel Fall gun provides a ranged attack option, useful for engaging enemies from a distance. Defensive items include coats, functioning like traditional RPG armor to mitigate damage, and unique items like false wings, which provide various buffs and alter the protagonist's appearance. Players start with nothing, and must find these items scattered throughout the world or given by others. The screenshot shows the item menu and character stats, illustrating how equipment impacts gameplay. The creator's crosstalk features the game's director and music composer discussing Baroque's distinctive sound. They recount how the director provided unusual, even bizarre, poetic texts as inspiration for the music, leading to tracks with a distorted, unsettling tone. This unconventional creative process resulted in music that evokes strange feelings and contributes significantly to the game's unique atmosphere. They mention specific sounds and the challenge of translating abstract ideas into musical composition, noting some resulting tracks, like the Buddhist chant song, were perceived as quite scary. This page focuses on the Neural Tower, the
the primary setting and nexus of all mysteries in Baroque. It's described as a constantly twisting, growing, and changing structure, where the layout of each floor is always different, presenting a new challenge to the player. Stepping inside means facing grotesque distortions and strange devices that await. Enigmatic characters, sometimes other than the distorted creatures, also appear, their purpose and message remaining a puzzle. The page is broken down into key gameplay aspects. The dungeon section emphasizes the claustrophobic corridors and the inability to retreat once inside, while noting the strange, almost beautiful, arrangement of the tower's internal structures. Battle highlights the brutal combat against the distorted enemies, reinforcing the need to purify them with your sword, building upon the combat mechanics discussed on the previous page. Gadget details interactive elements like switches that can alter the environment, sometimes benefiting the player and sometimes harming them. Finally, Encounter showcases the characters the player meets within the tower, whose conversations hold clues about the world twisted by the Great Heatwave and the protagonist's own purpose. A specific character, Iraiza, a mysterious girl, is introduced, hinting that meeting her will be a significant event. This page highlights ESP's presence at the Tokyo Game Show, 98 Spring, focusing on the playable demo of Baroque. The page details key aspects of the game, continuing the discussion from the previous page about the unique world. Under System, it emphasizes the randomized design of the Neural Tower dungeon and the real-time combat against distorted enemies, noting the challenge and consequences of death. The Sound section points out the unusual sound design, described as eerie, which breaks traditional game music conventions and utilizes Cry-ADX for clear audio quality. Visual praises the detailed graphics, particularly the lighting effects within the tower, and the impressive opening movie. A character named Alice is introduced, a mysterious girl encountered in the Neural Tower, whose words offer hints about the protagonist's past. Game music composer Masaharu Iwata, Ogre Battle, Tactics Ogre, Treasure Hunter G, Final Fantasy Tactics, and Baroque General Director Kazunari Yonemitsu, Madu Monogatari, Puyo Puyo, Treasure Hunter G, discuss the game's distinctive sound. They explain the complex process of layering and processing sounds to create an atmosphere that feels both familiar yet alien, aiming to evoke the sense of a broken world where memories linger. Finally, the page mentions a giveaway for a Baroque Report CD data file for 100 readers. This page shifts focus from the demos to the exclusive merchandise available at the Especially booth during the Tokyo Game Show. Recognizing that fans want more than just the games themselves, Especially offered limited edition goods from their popular titles, Grandia, Baroque, and Silhouette Mirage. For the acclaimed RPG Grandia, fans could acquire covetable items including a Buin plush, an official setting data collection book, various posters, jigsaw puzzles, and telephone cards, all in limited quantities ranging from 100 to 1,000 pieces. The dark and mysterious RPG Baroque was represented by a jigsaw puzzle and a telephone card featuring its distinctive art style and setting, limited to 500 pieces each. Finally, the unique action game Silhouette Mirage also offered a jigsaw puzzle and a telephone card showcasing its colorful characters, also limited to 500 pieces each. The text highlights the desirability of these exclusive items available only at the event. This page continues the focus on the enticing limited edition merchandise, available exclusively at the Especially booth during the Tokyo Game Show. Fans were treated to a range of collectibles from various Especially titles beyond those mentioned previously. For the mech action game Gungriffon 2, attendees could grab a special limited edition baseball cap, with only 300 available, priced at 2,200 yen. The text highlights the game's cable versus mode and twin-stick support. The quirky interactive comic Yumimi Mix Remix offered a cute Hold Mouse plush toy, limited to 700 pieces at 1,600 yen, and two different jigsaw puzzles, each limited to 500 and costing 1,200 yen. This title is noted as a Mega CD port featuring art by Izumi Takemoto. Treasure's critically acclaimed shooter, Radiant Silvergun, had a single soundtrack CD available, limited to 1,000 copies at 1,200 yen. The description praises its innovative 3-button attack system. The beloved RPG, Lunar Silver Star Story, offered two designs of telephone cards, both limited to 500 each, and priced at 1,200 yen.
The text proudly declares the Saturn version is a significant upgrade from its highly regarded Mega CD predecessor. Finally, the unique racing and adventure game Code R also had a limited edition telephone card, with 500 available at 1,200 yen. The overall message encourages everyone to visit the busy Especially booth, highlighting the playable demo of Radiant Silvergun and the array of desirable, limited run goods. Better hurry, because these items won't last long. This page features an advertisement for the SEGA Saturn title, Convenience Store Simulation Game, known in Japan as 2. This is the sequel to the popular convenience store management simulation game. The advertisement prominently displays the game's title, Convenience 2, above an image of a convenience store surrounded by numerous beckoning cats, Manakineko, hinting at prosperity and the game's quirky nature. The text confirms this is a SEGA Saturn version, newly released. The goal is national conquest by building and managing convenience stores. Compared to the previous game, the sequel boasts upgraded graphics, increased event variations, a high-speed mode, and enhanced gameplay features, including seasonal map changes. Screenshots at the bottom showcase the isometric view of store management and city maps. The game was released on March 12, 1998, for 5,800 yen, excluding tax, supports one player, and requires the power memory cartridge for saving progress. Developed by Human Entertainment, this simulation challenges players to strategize and expand their convenience store empire. This page is the reader's submission corner, titled, Let's Parking, where readers aim to be crowned Submission King. It features various short letters and illustrations from fans across Japan, covering a range of topics including gaming, sports, and personal anecdotes. One highlight is a section discussing the end of the Olympics and the start of baseball season, expressing excitement for sports and Saturn gaming. Another submission ponders the color of Saturn if a certain character was black, referencing Kamen Rider Black and Black RX. Illustrated submissions add visual flair. One features characters resembling those from Revolutionary Girl Utena, while another clearly depicts characters from Soul Hackers, Victor, Don Dracula, and Yuichi. The accompanying text complements the artist's handwritten font. There's also a humorous segment defining Pikahiji, a fictional fighting move complete with illustrations of stances and techniques, presented as a sort of ultimate move. The editor seems to appreciate the creativity in the submissions, often adding short, encouraging comments. The page captures the voice and interests of the magazine's readership, offering a lighthearted look at their lives and gaming passions. This page features the reader submission corner titled, Love Squared, Are You in Love? It's filled with personal stories, anecdotes, and illustrations from fans, often blending their feelings with their gaming lives. Readers share their admirations, like one expressing deep respect for characters Frank and Zabat from the Shining Force series. Another submission delves into a poignant moment experienced while playing Soul Hackers, where a seemingly simple message from a character had a profound impact, sparking a realization that felt like an electric shock. There are also lighter, more humorous tales, such as a reader who repeatedly mixed up game titles, or another recounting the serendipitous timing of a store clerk who offered a trial version that led to an immediate purchase, alongside winning a prize from a Fighting Vipers purchase. The page also includes various reader-submitted comics and entries for sections like the Heart-Pounding Confession Room, showcasing the diverse interests and experiences of the magazine's readership. This page features several reader contribution corners, starting with, I hate continuations like this. This section is a humorous special, where readers propose terrible ideas for game sequels they absolutely wouldn't want to see. Submissions include ideas like turning Princemaker into a game about raising a middle-aged woman who makes everyone cry, absurd additions to series like Wild Guns or Densha to Go, with silly concepts like unmanned trains or strange characters, and even critiques of potential sequels for simulation games like Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Another section, This Week's Goal, offers a short personal note from a contributor, including an illustration. There's also a detailed description of what kind of submissions are welcome for the Reader's Park, covering everything from daily life anecdotes and illustrations for the park gallery to shopping stories, and the Love X Love, Are You in Love? Corner, which aligns with the personal reflections seen on the previous page. A specific corner just for girls, Higashikana's Boys Forbidden After School Club, seems to share personal stories and daily observations, including mentions of pop culture and winning at pachinko. Illustrations are also featured, including a notable one showcasing characters from Vampire Savior, praised for its line work. Overall, the page highlights the magazine's strong connection with its readers, featuring their thoughts, humor, and artistic contributions, alongside commentary that touches upon various game genres and series. This page features reader contributions, primarily showcasing illustrations in the Park Gallery section. The theme for this round is split between the game Machi, Street, and Azel, Panzer Dragoon Saga. Readers submitted artwork related to these titles, with comments praising the artistic style, character portrayals, and composition. For Street, illustrations capture the game's atmosphere and characters, while Azel submissions focus on characters like Azel herself, with diverse interpretations. Below the gallery is Let's Play More, a section dedicated to reader experiences with various, sometimes lesser-known, games. Contributions include comments on titles like the Fist series, noted as appealing to hardcore players, and observations on other games, including what appears to be sentimental graffiti, with humorous takes on gameplay and character appeal. Some comments are quite personal, touching on everyday life alongside game experiences. The page also includes an information section detailing submission guidelines for aspiring contributors, outlining rules for artwork and text, and explaining the point system for published entries. Points can be redeemed for prizes such as book coupons or SEGA Saturn software. Finally, the magazine provides the mailing address for readers to send in their postcards and submissions. This page features advertisements for a collection of game-based comic and illustration anthologies. Dominating the top is the 4-panel DX series debut, showcasing a Pocket Monsters Pokemon 4-panel DX book based on the massive Game Boy hit, complete with cover art featuring Red, Blue, and Charizard. The second volume in this series, a Battle Arena Tushinden 4-panel DX, is also highlighted, adapting the popular PlayStation fighting game series into a comical 4-panel format, also relevant as the series saw releases on SEGA Saturn. Below these, a Super Game Anthology comic series section promotes several other titles. This includes an anthology for the original Battle Arena Tushinden and a separate one for Battle Arena Tushinden 2, both featuring comics and illustrations by various artists, including character designers. There's also an anthology for Power Instinct 2, another intense fighting game, presented as a collection of comics and illustrations. Finally, the page features anthologies for Super Real Mahjong PV Paradise, based on that arcade/console Mahjong series, and Darkstalkers, Vampire Hunter, adapting the beloved arcade and console action fighting game into an anthology of newly drawn comics and illustrations. These anthologies offer fans humorous takes and diverse artistic interpretations of their favorite game worlds and characters. The next page is entirely dedicated to the SEGA Saturn title J.League Pro Soccer Club Wotsukuru 2, widely known as Saskatsuku 2. It serves as a guide and community hub for players. There's a beginner's section explaining the fundamentals of systems and tactics, detailing common formations like 442 and 433, and their suitable tactical applications. A comprehensive Q&A addresses player questions, covering topics such as how player stats affect set pieces, how to snap players out of slumps, and the impact of player style on study abroad development, contrasting different regional football philosophies. The page also features a club growth diary, chronicling 3 years of progress for a specific team, and celebrating the arrival of a key player described as a savior, while also touching upon challenges like player fatigue. Additionally, a report from the development team provides a glimpse behind the scenes, with one developer discussing player reception and drawing inspiration from real football experiences, even contemplating travel to major tournaments. A sidebar briefly lists important in-game terminology and formations. This page is dedicated to an interesting feature for Saskatsuku 2 players, a club diagnosis service provided by the SEGA development team. Here, they analyze the Musashino Pantera Club, whose representative speaks about aiming for an Ajax-like style and highlights key players. The diagnosis covers the club's statistics like their hometown, progress into their 16th year, significant funds, over 32 billion yen, and well-developed facilities. The analysis breaks down the team by position. The goalkeeper and forwards are deemed strong with good potential. The midfield is noted for being well-structured with some key young players. However, the defense is highlighted as the main issue, particularly the weak right side and the aging captain Putin, whose ability lags behind others. The prescribed remedy is to strengthen the defense, consider a new captain, and focus on improving team chemistry. A screenshot shows the team's formation and tactics. Beyond the diagnosis, the page invites other readers to submit their own clubs for analysis. It also announces the first SATURN Cup, a tournament for reader clubs divided into 2 experience-based divisions, requiring participants to submit their club's password and other details by a March 19th deadline. Finally, a new reader corner called Viva Sakatsuku is introduced, which will feature reader contributions and fan art, showcasing a lively community around the game. The page concludes with the address for all submissions and mentions recent winners of a previous event. This page features the first installment of a lore deep dive for the game Gungryphon 2, presented as a lecture on the Gungryphon world turmoil history. It comes from a regular feature titled Japan Foreign Legion Public Relations Division Annex. The content details the setting of the game, starting in the early 2000s, with a fragmented world heading towards conflict. The lecture explains the escalation of tensions between China and Vietnam, initially border skirmishes, which grew into a major war involving the APC, Armored Police Corps forces. It highlights the strategic situation, guerrilla warfare, and the involvement of international forces, including the APC. The text covers events up to August 2008, focusing on the Second Sino-Vietnamese War and Vietnam's call for un-intervention, which China rejected. A timeline section provides a chronological overview of key events in the game's universe, from the early 21st century to October 2010. Illustrating the complex political and military history that forms the backdrop for Gungryphon 2. Finally, a section titled Gungryphon 2 Staff Recommends Reading This features a staff member's recommendation of the book Atlas of World Religions, suggesting its themes are relevant to understanding the intricate world depicted in the game. A screenshot from Gungryphon 2 is also shown. This page dives into the technical details and staff insights for Gungryphon 2. It features a breakdown of the modified Type 12,120mm smoothbore cannon, explaining how improvements to the mech's arm power and FCS fire control system allow it to handle heavier munitions and manage complex weaponry more effectively than the previous model. Sensors and the onboard computer have also been upgraded. An image shows the weapon components and the updated Type 12 mech. Further down, a developer column offers a personal take on the game, highlighting the Urajira Stoku mode, a survival challenge where players race against time to destroy enemies. The developer praises this mode and reflects on the game's development, acknowledging both gains and losses compared to the first Gungryphon. The column includes a portrait of programmer Koichi Hamada and an image of the game's custom controller. The page also includes a message from the JPNFL Public Relations Division Annex, inviting reader questions and feedback for future articles. This page features 2 columns by different authors. The first, titled The Thing Called a Producer, is by Fumio Kurokawa. He discusses the different roles and approaches of producers in both the film and game industries, contrasting those who are deeply involved in production with those focused on promotion and coordination, particularly for foreign works in Japan. He touches on how promotional campaigns, including those for games, rely on producers, but also notes issues with management control and trusting promotional teams. The second column, Ikebukuro Sara's Virtual Crash, is a personal account by Kichizo Yoshizo. He writes about his decision to buy a mansion in Ikebukuro, weighing the cost of rent versus ownership and reflecting on the living space. He mentions decorating the room and the importance of having enough space. Towards the end, he references playing what he calls Virtual Hypers 2 and Air Guys, suggesting they hold value for him. The page also includes a small portrait of a child in a section titled This Week's Hiroshi, and an information box directing readers to a website for more details and contact. Illustrator Akari Funato celebrates the SEGA Saturn release of the Phantasy Star Collection, containing all 4 Mega Drive-era games. Funato expresses great joy, favoring Phantasy Star over Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. A nostalgic anecdote about playing Phantasy Star 2 on the Mega CD, including experiences with its mechanics and hardware challenges, is shared. Beyond the RPG focus, Funato briefly recommends the Windows 95 visual novel Atora Kunakua by Alice Soft. The column concludes with an end panel and a wish for games to feature extra content, reflecting a desire for developer dedication. This page focuses on Advanced World War, a strategy simulation game released on the SEGA Saturn, likely as part of the budget SATURN collection. It's a strategy SLG that explores World War II from the perspective of the German Third Reich, covering its rise and fall. The page explains key game mechanics for new players. It details the unique dual map system, which separates combat onto both land and sea and air maps, with one air square corresponding to 4 land squares. It also introduces concepts like FPW, force power, the importance of frequent scouting, and how the zone of control, ZOC, affects unit movement and combat. Different bomb types for bombers are also discussed, distinguishing between anti-unit and anti-structure munitions. For those new to the game, the standard mode is recommended as a good starting point to learn the basics of battle, featuring scenarios based on historical fronts like the Eastern and African campaigns, and including actual historical generals. Screenshots illustrate the dual map view, unit stats, and bombing effects. This page presents the complete 64 map branching diagram for Advanced World War, offering a visual guide to the campaign structure. It clearly lays out the different paths players can take through the conflict, detailing how progression is determined by the GP general points earned during missions. The accompanying text explains that GP is the primary factor in deciding which scenario comes next, often influenced by how efficiently or quickly you clear previous maps, although the exact amount needed can vary. The flowchart shows numbered mission boxes, connected by lines indicating the flow. Branching points are marked by GP thresholds. Achieving a certain score or higher directs you down one path, while falling below that score sends you down another. This creates multiple routes through the war, leading to various key battles like the Battle of Britain, Operation Barbarossa, and the Battle of the Atlantic. Ultimately, these different paths culminate in 7 distinct ending types, labeled a through. It's an essential diagram for any serious player looking to explore all potential timelines and outcomes in the game. This page dives into the specifics of the early scenarios in Advanced World War, providing crucial details for players navigating the game's campaigns. Each entry, numbered from 1 to 18, outlines a distinct battle or operation. For each scenario, the page lists the name, a brief description of the objective and historical context, the operational dates, information on potential reinforcements, the target turn counts for achieving different levels of victory, and the corresponding GP and VP rewards. This level of detail is invaluable for planning. Knowing the victory turn goals and their associated points is key to strategically pursuing specific branching paths, as higher GP scores earned by clearing missions faster can lead to different scenarios later in the game, just as explained on the previous page. The scenarios covered include the initial invasion of Poland, Operation White and the Battle for Warsaw, the Western Front campaigns like the Schlieffen Plan and the Push for Paris, early naval actions such as securing the French fleet at Brest, and the crucial Battle of Britain and the attempted invasion of the UK, Operation Sea Lion. Later entries move into the Mediterranean and North African fronts, detailing battles like the Mediterranean supply lines and the Tobruk clashes. This page serves as a tactical guide, laying out the parameters for each challenge and highlighting how performance directly impacts progression and the overall narrative arc of the war in the game. This page continues the comprehensive guide for the game Advanced World War, detailing scenarios 19 through 38. Following the format established on the previous page, each entry provides essential information for successfully navigating the game's historical battles. Players are given the scenario title, a concise summary of the historical situation and objective, the specific participating forces identified by color, the operational duration, crucial details regarding reinforcements for various factions at different turns, and the victory conditions. The victory conditions specify the target turn counts for achieving different levels of success, along with the corresponding GP and VP rewards. This level of detail is vital for players to strategize effectively, plan for reinforcements, and aim for specific turn objectives to maximize their score and potentially unlock different paths or outcomes in the game's branching campaign structure. The scenarios covered span various fronts, including the Mediterranean, North Africa, the Eastern Front, with major operations like Stalingrad and Moscow, and later Western Front battles after Normandy. This page continues the in-depth guide for the game Advanced World War, presenting scenarios number 39 through 58. As with the previous entries, each scenario is broken down to provide players with the crucial details needed for planning and success. You get the scenario title, a summary of the historical situation and your objective, the color-coded factions involved, the operational time frame, specific conditions for reinforcements arriving at certain turns, and a clear breakdown of the victory conditions. The victory conditions lay out the different turn counts required for varying levels of success, complete with the corresponding GP and VP rewards. This comprehensive data allows players to strategize effectively, anticipating enemy movements and reinforcements, while aiming for optimal completion times to maximize their score. The scenarios presented here cover pivotal battles on the Eastern Front, including major operations like the Battle of the Caucasus, Southern Front, the battles for Stalingrad and Moscow, and even later stages of the war, such as the defense of Berlin. This guide is invaluable for mastering the game's historical campaigns. The next page continues, the in-depth guide for Advanced World War, providing details for scenarios 59 through 64. These scenarios include key operations, such as the offensive towards Moscow, potential invasions of the British Isles, the crucial Battle of the Atlantic, and a final, complete victory scenario. Just like the previous entries, each scenario is presented with its title, historical background, participating factions, operational period, details on reinforcement arrivals, and the varying victory conditions tied to turn counts and resulting GP/VP points. Below the scenario details is a massive data table for land, sea, and air units. Titled Land, Sea, Air Weapons Data List, this comprehensive chart provides crucial statistics for a wide array of units in the game. For each unit, it lists its name, classification, like reconnaissance vehicle, heavy tank, anti-aircraft gun, battleship, etc., search range, movement points, and defensive values against land, air, and sea attacks. There's also a column for special notes, indicating things like transformation capabilities for certain units. This table is an essential reference for players to understand the capabilities and weaknesses of every unit on the battlefield, allowing for meticulous strategic planning. A brief note above the table highlights the importance of checking units with wide search ranges and high mobility, suggesting they are particularly useful. This page focuses on the German forces in Advanced World War. It provides detailed data on the German Air Force, including stats for various aircraft, explaining movement, defense, and special abilities. Crucially, it covers the special abilities of land and air generals, detailing skills like combat boosts, mobility enhancements, and terrain advantages, along with unlock conditions. Finally, the page offers instructions on selecting starting generals, including specific input commands to choose desired Air Force generals, even rare characters, optimizing strategic choices from the beginning of the game. This page provides detailed information for players of Advanced World War. Last Battalion, there's a table outlining how general parameters like attack, defense, and speed increase upon leveling up, showing the different growth patterns for attack, defense, and all-around type generals across various levels. Below that is a list detailing the conditions for receiving various military decorations and medals within the game, earned through achievements like graduating military school, reaching specific levels, destroying units, or completing certain stages. The page also highlights a peculiar occurrence on Map 53, describing a sequence involving the instructor and a battle scene, suggesting a potential bug or hidden event triggered by a specific button combination. Screenshots show progress and training results related to the game's factions, Last Battalion, and South Pole Garrison. Finally, there's a guide on how to access and listen to all the game's background music. It mentions a hidden command, YZXYS, entered within the Settings menu's music configuration, which unlocks the entire soundtrack, including a special Walkure track described as a gift from the President. This allows players to enjoy the diverse music from the game's various nations. This page dives into the strategic depths of the sports training simulation, Pro Yaku Team wo Tsukuru, which challenges players to build and manage a professional baseball team. A key element highlighted here is the inclusion of 111 former players, known as OBS, Old Boys, who can be hired as managers or coaches. The article explains how these OBSs aren't just names. They significantly influence your team's development and on-field strategy. Their abilities, rated on an 8-level scale from 0 to 7, determine player growth rates and strategic approaches. The page presents a detailed list of 72 outfielder-type OBS managers, showing their salary, age, and specific coaching stats across various categories, like player-type influence, outfielder/pitcher, tactical thinking, player stat corrections, and even specific skill categories like hitting, running, and fielding. Screenshots illustrate the manager selection process and highlight special menus available during training camps, unique to the chosen OB. This adds a layer of strategic choice beyond just stats, as different managers unlock different training options to mold your team. It's clear that picking the right coaching staff is crucial for success in building your baseball dynasty. The next page continues the deep dive into the manager options available in Pro Yaku Team Wo Tsukuru. This page features the second half of the list of old boy managers you can recruit to lead your team. Similar to the previous page, a comprehensive table provides essential data for each candidate, including their salary, age, blood type, and detailed ratings across various coaching and player development categories. The table covers crucial attributes like their influence on outfielder and pitcher types, tactical thinking, their ability to correct player stats, and specific skills like hitting, running, fielding, and clutch performance. These numerical ratings, based on the game's 07 scale, are vital indicators of how each manager will shape your team's training, strategy, and overall performance on the field. Choosing the right manager with the appropriate skill set is presented as a critical strategic decision for building a successful baseball dynasty in the game. The next page continues the extensive list of old boy managers available for recruitment in Pro Yaku Team Wo Tsukuru. This large table presents the final candidates, detailing their essential information such as name, salary, blood type, and age. Crucially, it provides their detailed ratings across various attributes, including their influence on different player positions, tactical acumen, and specific coaching abilities to improve player hitting, running, fielding, and pitching, among others. These stats are key for players to evaluate each manager's potential impact on team development and on-field strategy, allowing for informed decisions when building a championship-winning roster. This page features guides for two exciting games. First up is the official guide for SEGA Saturn's sports title, Winter Heat. This guide promises a complete walkthrough of all 11 events, character-specific strategies, details on hidden characters, and includes beautiful CG artwork. It's an 80-page, full-color guide priced at 900 yen and is already available. Below that is a guide for Capcom's new arcade fighting game, Rival Schools, United by Fate. This school guide provides in-depth coverage of the game's schools and characters, explaining the combat system, including special moves and Team UP attacks. It also includes insights from the development staff. This extensive guide is 144 pages and is scheduled for release in mid-March for 1,300 yen. Both sections are accompanied by dynamic artwork featuring characters from the respective games. This page is a vital reader survey postcard from the magazine. It provides clear instructions on how to fill out the questionnaire using Arabic numerals and black ink within the designated boxes. The survey asks for demographic information like gender, age, and occupation, giving readers a numbered list of options to choose from. It also probes into the reader's SEGA Saturn collection, asking for the number of software titles they own and which gaming magazines they read regularly, offering a list of popular Japanese gaming publications. The core of the survey focuses on reader feedback. It asks which articles from the current issue, referenced by a numbered list, Table 1, were most and least interesting. Readers are also prompted to indicate which hardware they currently own, from Table 2, and which software titles they are considering purchasing from a comprehensive list of games, Table 3. This survey is a direct line for readers to provide feedback and express their interest in potential future game purchases, giving the magazine and publishers valuable data. This page is a promotional spread for Sega's chain of indoor amusement parks, Joyopolis. It heavily features the Joyopolis 3-hall common annual passport, valid for the Tokyo, Shinjuku, and Yokohama locations. This annual pass, available for a limited time until March 31, 1998, grants unlimited entry and rides, priced at 18,000 yen for adults and 12,000 yen for younger visitors. The page highlights two key attractions: Wild River, a rafting simulation promising a realistic experience with cutting-edge computer graphics, and Boat Race Grand Prix, featuring intense boat racing action displayed on a massive 100-inch screen with air motion effects. Both are marked as new. Beloved Sega characters Sonic the Hedgehog, Tails, and Knuckles are featured prominently next to an image of the annual passport, emphasizing the strong Sega connection. Detailed access information and maps for each of the 3 Joyopolis locations are also included. This is a great way to enjoy unlimited arcade and simulation rides if you're in Japan. This page is dedicated to the official guidebooks for the Sega Saturn game, Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team, the third installment in the Tsukuru series. The green box poses the question: can you blow a new wind into the professional baseball world? 2 guidebooks are highlighted. The first, the Ikeki edition, is already on sale for 950 yen excluding tax, and is described as very popular. The second, the Yarikomi edition, is scheduled for release at the end of March 1998, with an estimated price of 1,400 yen, excluding tax. The official guide promises to cover 4 key points or secrets: team management, player development, training camp, and player data. These are represented by charming icons: a yen symbol, weights, a baseball glove, and a trash can. Perhaps for discarding players? The page features colorful, stylized artwork of baseball characters, along with small screenshots or illustrations depicting gameplay elements. A prominent graphic states, "Leave it to me." The page also includes copyright information from Sega Enterprises, Limited, 1998, and details for the publisher, SoftBank Corporation Publishing Division, along with contact information. A small section provides information on how to purchase the guides, either through bookstores or direct order, including delivery details and costs. This page is dedicated to the official guidebook for the classic horror light gun shooter, The House of the Dead. Scheduled for release in late March 1998, with an estimated price of 1,200 yen, this guide aims to completely cover the game. It promises to lecture on enemy zombie appearance points and counterattack procedures, introduce precise strategies and battle techniques for boss fights, and explore numerous setting materials delving into the game's hidden mysteries. The page features dynamic artwork depicting the struggle against hordes of the undead, along with screenshots showcasing various terrifying moments and creatures from the game. This guide appears to be an indispensable resource for players navigating the game's relentless horror. This page explores the world of Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 2. Irodori no Love Song for the Sega Saturn. This adventure game spin-off delves into a new story centered around the protagonist and his amateur band, Irodori, as they prepare for a band contest. The narrative highlights the protagonist's struggles with songwriting and the relationships he builds along the way. Key characters featured include Suzune Misaki, the band's keyboardist who holds feelings for the protagonist and offers constant encouragement, and Mie Kuribayashi, who appears later, involved in rehearsals for a debut event. Screenshots show scenes from the game, such as band practice, character conversations, and poignant moments like an embrace under a sunset. The page confirms the game's release date of March 26, 1998, priced at 5,800 yen for a 2 candelas set. It's an adventure game recommended for all ages and is compatible with the Sega Saturn shuttle mouse. Development is noted as 100% complete, with staff expressing positive sentiments about the finished game. The band, Irodori, is described as popular, consisting of 4 members: Yasushi, Takumi, Suzune, and the protagonist. This page delves further into the world of Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 2, Nijiro no Seishun. This Sega Saturn adventure game, published by Konami, is clearly focused on a musical theme, evident from the main illustration featuring a character in a school uniform holding a guitar next to an amplifier labeled Fernandez. The accompanying text confirms key details for players looking to jump into this entry. Released on March 26, 1998, the game was available as a 2 candelas set, priced at 5,800 yen. It is presented as a single-player experience, recommended for all ages, and even supports the Sega Saturn shuttle mouse for potentially unique gameplay interaction. The artwork effectively conveys the high school setting and the prominent role music plays in this installment of the beloved simulation series. This page continues exploring the story and gameplay of Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 2, Nijiro no Seishun. It delves into specific in-game events centered around the heroine, Ayako Katagiri, structured around key dates like September 29th and October 1st. The narrative highlights a misunderstanding between the protagonist and Katagiri, leading to a poignant scene where she is found crying. The screenshots illustrate these moments, showing Katagiri's emotional state and the protagonist's reaction. The story progresses to the protagonist deciding to apologize to Katagiri. This leads to interactions in the art room, where Katagiri is passionate about painting, and later at a park during sunset. Dialogue choices are presented, allowing the player to deepen their relationship and understanding of Katagiri. A system check section explains the core gameplay. Like previous entries, the game uses a point-and-click interface, where talking to characters drives the narrative. Crucially, dialogue often presents 3 choices, and selecting the appropriate response is essential, as it directly influences the heroine's affection level, a fundamental mechanic of the Tokimeki Memorial series. The feature 3, or Tokimeki, 3 choices, is explicitly mentioned as the key method for raising affection,
emphasizing its importance in navigating relationships within the game. This page examines the relationships and context of Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 2, Nijiro no Seishun. It highlights the game's blend of serious moments and humor, with characters like Ayako Katagiri contributing to the overall tone. A key feature is a diagram outlining the protagonist's existing relationships at the game's start, emphasizing connections with established characters like Shiori Fujisaki, Yuki Kono, and Mio Kisaragi, while introducing new characters or those yet to be met. The page includes a simulated radio broadcast about the upcoming Culture Festival and a band contest, with Suzune Misaki's band, Psy, mentioned as a potential winner. It also details how different characters make their first appearance in this drama series. Finally, the page introduces a CD drama series that connects the narratives of the first two games. This page dives deeper into the developing relationship with Ayako Katagiri in Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 2, Rainbow-Colored Youth. Following the incident at the park, their bond has strengthened, with the protagonist and Katagiri now spending time together after school, and her observing his music composition. The page highlights a significant event, the first date, on October 5th. This busy day includes visiting an art museum to see works by Gorky, Katagiri's favorite artist known for grotesque pieces, as well as taking photos, talking, and even swimming at a nearby pool complex. Despite the packed schedule, they find the day completely engaging. However, a lingering question remains about why Katagiri cried during the date, a mystery the protagonist has yet to understand. Adding interactive elements to the gameplay are several mini-games integrated into the date sequences. The diving game challenges the player to swim underwater across the pool to earn special graphics. The photo contest allows players to take pictures of Katagiri acting as a model, aiming to win a competition. There's also a Spot the Difference game, featuring familiar-looking images. The page also offers advice on interacting with Katagiri, suggesting a calm approach, especially when discussing her passion for art like Gorky's work. This indicates how player choices and interactions influence the narrative flow. This page showcases official guidebooks for the epic RPG Grandia, promising to unravel all its mysteries. 2 different guidebooks are advertised, designed to help players navigate the vast world and challenging battles. The first, the original Grandia official guidebook, is highlighted as having sold over 200,000 copies, a testament to the game's immense popularity. It focuses on the initial stages of the adventure, covering character introductions, a detailed explanation of the unique battle system, a thorough walkthrough of the story's first half, Disc 1, and even includes a handy glossary for the game's terminology. The second guidebook, the Grandia Official Guidebook Completion Volume, is designed for players delving into the latter half of the game, Disc 2. It provides extensive strategies for the guided location Alant, covering the story's conclusion with beautiful maps to aid exploration. This volume also boasts complete data on all 3 special stages, and includes comprehensive lists of all items and monster data. Both books are priced at 950 yen, offering essential resources for conquering Grandia's grand adventure. Screenshots on the page show some of the diverse creatures, characters, and intriguing locations players will encounter. This page features a striking image of Utena Tenju, the protagonist from the influential anime series Revolutionary Girl Utena, immediately grabbing your attention with her iconic pink hair and blue eyes. The bold headline declares this work a revolutionary masterpiece that has exceeded Evangelion, asking the reader, "Have you seen Revolutionary Girl Utena?" The article delves into the series' enduring popularity, highlighting how it continued to receive significant attention even after its TV broadcast ended. It mentions that following a game adaptation, a movie adaptation has also been decided, confirming its status as a major phenomenon. This special feature in SEGA Saturn magazine includes discussions about the charm of Utena with key figures such as director Kunihiko Ikuhara, character designer Chiho Saito, voice actor Tomoko Kawakami, and contemporary artist Takashi Murakami. The piece asserts that Utena is an essential part of 90s animation, and promises that its world is set to expand dramatically. The SEGA Saturn game adaptation is a must-play for fans of the series, offering a unique, interactive experience within its distinctive universe. This page features a special interview about the revolutionary anime Revolutionary Girl Utena, speaking with director Kunihiko Ikuhara and Tomoko Kawakami, the voice of protagonist Utena Tenju. They delve into the creation of the characters and themes, with Ikuhara explaining his deliberate choice to make Utena less self-conscious than the surrounding cast, seeing her perceived innocence or purity as her defining trait.
Kawakami discusses connecting with Utena's character. The interview touches on the dynamics within Otori Academy and the core conflicts, including the duels. The page also provides a brief synopsis of the story and showcases related merchandise, such as the SEGA Saturn game, a novelization, and character figures, demonstrating the widespread impact and expanding universe of Revolutionary Girl Utena. This page continues the fascinating discussion about Revolutionary Girl Utena, featuring insights from the creators. Voice actress Tomoko Kawakami offers a compelling take on the series' unique characters, appreciating that they don't feel like typical people, which contributes to the show's distinct allegorical style. Director Kunihiko Ikuhara's philosophy is highlighted with the statement that a drama that only explains things is boring, underscoring the series' reliance on symbolism and abstract presentation over overt explanation, a characteristic that deeply resonated with its fanbase. The page introduces the key players in Otori Academy, including the main student council members and other pivotal characters like Utena Tenju, Antihimemiya, Chuchu, Tuga Kiryu, and Akio Otori, detailing their roles in the narrative. The visuals include striking character portraits and atmospheric scenes, such as Utena and Andan the Narthi, featured against a dramatic sky. The article also touches on the expanded media universe, mentioning the SEGA Saturn game, Revolutionary Girl Utena, the story that will be revolutionized someday, alongside the soundtrack and other related publications, showcasing the series' significant cultural footprint. This page continues the deep dive into Revolutionary Girl Utena, featuring an interview with Tomoko Kawakami, the voice of Utena. She discusses her experience with the audition process and her initial impressions of the show's unique theatrical style, which was quite different from what she was used to. The discussion, also involving director Kunihiko Ikuhara, explores the central theme of the power to revolutionize the world, highlighting the series' deliberate use of symbolism and abstract storytelling rather than straightforward explanations, a style that resonated strongly. The impact of the series' memorable duel scenes is also examined. Side panels provide key terms and concepts from the show, such as the Sword of Dios, and references to the comedy trio. The page also features a look at related merchandise, including trading cards and figures, showcasing the series' popularity and extended universe. This page delves further into the world of Revolutionary Girl Utena, featuring a discussion centered around its creative vision. Director Kunihiko Ikuhara shares his intent to craft a protagonist who inspires viewers to embrace a kind of sincere idiocy, reflecting the unconventional spirit of Utena Tenjo. The conversation, likely including voice actor Tomoko Kawakami based on the previous page, explores the series' unique themes, focusing on the nuanced friendship between Utena and Antihimemiya, and the overarching idea of revolutionizing the world. They discuss the show's deliberate lack of straightforward explanation, prioritizing the emotional and intellectual impact left on the viewer after watching. Ikuhara also touches upon the symbolic nature of the world's end concept. The visual elements at the bottom provide context, showcasing character art for key figures like Utena, Akanthi, Akio Otori, and the twins Suji and Mamiya, alongside imagery representing core concepts such as the duels, stopwatch, the symbolic revolution mark, and other memorable moments that define the series' distinctive style. This page features testimonials from influential figures in Japanese culture, manga artist Takemiya Kaiko and artist Takashi Murakami, expressing their profound respect and support for Revolutionary Girl Utena. Takemiya discusses how the show's powerful soundtrack, particularly Absolute Destiny Apocalypse, serves as a significant source of motivation for her work, drawing parallels to the thematic weight she finds in the works of Shuji Terayama and J.A. Caesar. She views Utena as a work with significant philosophical depth, and openly embraces its unique and sometimes peculiar elements. Murakami offers his perspective on Utena's complex and layered narrative, describing it as a mixed-up synthesis of influences from classic 70s anime and director Ikuhara's own creative background. He points out references to shows like Tomorrow's Joe 2 and Treasure Island. He sees Utena as a series that pushes boundaries, contrasting its artistic ambition with works that might simply cater to specific fan bases, comparing its challenging nature to that of Neon Genesis Evangelion. He specifically praises Anthy's design as an exceeding existence. The page is visually supported by portraits of the contributors, iconic Utena artwork, and examples of related merchandise like soundtrack sides and trading cards, demonstrating the series' impact across various media. This page offers commentary on the anime Revolutionary Girl Utena from 3 different perspectives. Kazuki Yamaji discusses the upcoming SEGA Saturn game adaptation, focusing on its challenges in capturing the anime's themes of escaping a captive world and portraying character trauma. Noriyoshi Tsuruoka highlights Saionji's tragic character as a relatable figure for teenagers and praises the anime's action choreography, particularly Nanami's sword fights. Saken Takeuchi analyzes Utena as a Don Quixote-like figure driven by innocent idealism, viewing her revolution as a fantasy that alters but doesn't perfect the world. The page is visually rich, featuring portraits of the commentators, anime screenshots, game screenshots, and merchandise examples. This page serves as a comprehensive guide to both the latest Sega Saturn game releases and exciting titles coming soon. It's split into two key sections to help players plan their gaming schedule. On the left, highlighted under New Release, you'll find details on recently launched Saturn games. Featured here are titles like Roommate 3, the visual novel follow-up, and Clockwork Knight 2, Pepperu Xiao's Adventure, the fantastic platformer. These are covered in more depth on the pages indicated. Artwork features a knight character, likely from one of the fantasy titles. The right side, marked Coming Soon, gives you a look ahead at upcoming releases. This section previews major games hitting the Saturn soon, including the strategy RPG Dragon Force 2, the classic light gun shooter, the House of the Dead, the simulation game, the convenience store, and Game de Seishun. The pages listed provide further details on these anticipated releases. A winged mage character is prominently displayed, hinting at a magical or fantasy game to come. This layout makes it easy to see what's fresh and what's on the horizon for the Sega Saturn. This page provides an in-depth look at the recently released or soon-to-be-released visual novel Roommate 3 Ryoko, On a Morning Shimmering in the Wind, which was teased on the previous page. Rated for all ages and boasting a completion level of 80%, this real-time communication simulation lets you experience living with a high school girl. The page highlights several key features designed to get players excited. You'll need to go on dates, called going out events, or simply date events, to deepen your relationship. The game promises heart-pounding event scenes, with a particular section focusing on a shower scene that is sure to be a highlight. There's also mention of voice memos, specifically one delving into the secret of a bear plushie. A dedicated system allows Ryoko to send you messages, and you're encouraged to reply as she's eagerly awaiting your response. Screenshots showcase the game's interface, including interactions in a room, a plant care system for a marigold, and options within the message system. Artwork features the main character, Ryoko, in various situations like enjoying the outdoors, talking on the phone, and alongside a prominent teddy bear, giving a good sense of the game's visual style and the charming atmosphere it aims to create. This page features Croc, Legend of the Gabos, known in Japan as Croc. Pow Pow Island, an action-packed 3D platformer from Argonaut Software. Released by MediaQuest on March 26, 1997, this title puts you in control of the adorable crocodile, Croc, as he embarks on a quest across a mysterious island filled with traps and puzzles. The main goal is to rescue the Gabos, Croc's adopted parents, who have been captured by the villainous Zutha Turtle 2i and his numerous underlings. The game promises a blend of jumping, stomping, and environmental interaction, requiring players to find hidden crystals to progress and free the imprisoned Gabos. The magazine highlights the game's charming polygonal characters, noting that both friends and foes are designed to be cute. Screenshots showcase diverse environments, from lush islands to fiery landscapes, and introduce key characters like Croc, the fuzzy Gabos, the formidable Zutha Turtle 2 Eyes, and some of his unique henchmen, including a boxing ladybug. The page teases further details about the game to be revealed in the next issue. This page introduces Seishun Game, a life simulation board game for the Sega Saturn from publisher Kid. Unlike traditional board games, this title lets you simulate an entire life journey from kindergarten all the way up to age 50, but instead of rolling dice, players choose which number to move their piece based on available options. The game focuses on making your youth enjoyable rather than just reaching the finish line first. Gameplay progresses month by month with each turn. Along the way, players encounter random encounter events that can lead to building friendships, finding love, and even getting married. Relationships require careful nurturing, as they can also end. Your career path is also a significant part of the game, with 56 different professions available, though the job you can pursue depends on your character's abilities and academic performance,
which can be improved through activities on special private life squares, where you can exercise, study, and more. The game supports both solo play and competitive multiplayer for up to 4 players. Screenshots show the colorful board map, character sprites, encounter scenes, and career moments. This page previews Dragon Force 2, highlighting new information and its presence at the Tokyo Game Show 98 Spring event. The game is set for release on April 2nd for 5,800 yen and is classified as a simulation RPG recommended for all ages. The article emphasizes that development is 100% complete. The focus is on the opening story events in 2 countries, Bozak, the Forest Kingdom, and Tradnoir, the Magic Kingdom. While seemingly distant, incidents in these 2 nations are linked by a single thread. The Bozak section details Gungas, a descendant of the Gomhor line from the previous game, investigating strange occurrences outside the peaceful forest. Screenshots show dialogue scenes involving Gungas. The narrative also explores the mystery of demons, seeking a specific female character, and the re-emergence of Tillis, believed to be one of the legendary 8-star dragon's knights from 500 years ago. A relationship chart for key Bozak characters is included, showing figures like Gungas, his loyal vice minister Seth, and other generals such as Gonzalez, Maria, Fiorina, and Marquez, outlining their relationships and personalities. The page conveys excitement for the sequel, promising refined scenarios and battles. This page delves into the early story of the Magic Kingdom of Tradnoir in Dragon Force 2, a title prominently featured at Tokyo Game Show 98 Spring and nearing release. The narrative kicks off on a stormy night with the mysterious disappearance of King Lennox after a meeting with a man named Flest. This throws the kingdom into chaos, leading to the appointment of Princess Sophonis as the acting king. The page introduces key figures surrounding Sophonis, including her vice minister, Professor Sheffield, her former history teacher who now finds himself helping shape history. Other advisors like the Knight Barley and teachers Agnes and Halson are also highlighted, all loyal to Salphionis. A pivotal early event involves the discovery of an ancient machine in northern ruins. This machine is revealed to be a talking robot named Kathmandu. Sanis, feeling compassion for the broken robot, decides to seek a complete repair and sets off for Tristan, marking the beginning of her journey. Simultaneously, demonic forces are becoming active across the continent of Legendora, occupying castles and posing a significant threat. The page teases that the key to the unfolding events lies with the legendary 8-star dragon's knights, who vanished 500 years prior, directly referencing Queen Tillis from the previous page's discussion of the Bozak Kingdom. The inclusion of character portraits and screenshots provides a glimpse into the game's presentation and strategic battles. This page focuses on the SEGA Saturn port of the classic light gun shooter, The House of the Dead, highlighting one of its key features, the branching pathways. The page proudly announces the completion of the game's first stage content, offering a full breakdown of its branching points. A detailed map illustrates the multiple routes players can take through the mansion's grounds and initial rooms, from the front gate to the billiard rooms where the Stage 1 boss, Chariot Type 27, awaits. It explains that player actions determine the path taken, leading to distinctly different story sequences and encounters. Specific examples are given for 3 branching points labeled A, B, and C, showing screenshots of scenarios where players encounter researchers in danger. Saving or failing to save these individuals impacts the route and can affect the players' lives. The page emphasizes the depth this branching adds to the game, encouraging players to explore different possibilities. It also provides key game information. It's a 12-player gun shooting game compatible with Sega's Virtual Gun, priced at 5,800 yen, and was scheduled for release on March 26th. A note from the developer assures that the home version perfectly captures the arcade terror. This article previews the SEGA Saturn port of The House of the Dead, focusing on Stage 1's branching paths. Player choices, such as which zombie to defeat first in the entrance hall, significantly alter the level's progression and enemy encounters. Collapsing floors and rubble also dictate route changes. Stage 1 features 12 researchers to rescue, but only 7 can be saved per playthrough, encouraging replayability. Rescuing researchers affects the players' lives. The packaging is showcased, with cover art depicting Thomas Rogan and a back cover hinting at the final boss, Magician. The Stage 1 boss, Chariot Type 27, is introduced, emphasizing its weak points and pattern-based fight mechanics, promising an intense arcade experience. The game is close to release. This page features the Convenience Store 2, a management simulation game that challenges you to build and run your own convenience store chain. The article offers crucial advice for players starting out to avoid early business pitfalls. It highlights 3 key strategies for initial success. First, selecting the right location is paramount. Players should choose sites based on land price and the potential for future development, understanding that higher prices often mean more potential customers, while lower prices indicate fewer buildings and tougher initial business. Second, interior layout is discussed, emphasizing the importance of offering a wide variety of products, even in small quantities, to meet diverse customer demands. Finally, setting appropriate business hours is covered, recommending shorter operating times in the beginning to allow staff, who start with lower abilities, sufficient time for tasks like cleaning. The game was released on March 12th for 5,800 yen and is the Saturn version, including unique elements not present in the original. The Convenience Store 2 emphasizes strategic management. Recruiting staff requires balancing stamina, academic skill, charm, and social ability. Training employees at the main store, before assigning them to manage new branches, is recommended. Advertising, essential for attracting customers, includes expensive but quick boosts versus cheaper, continuous campaigns. Invitations bring vital services like police and fire stations. Starting operations involve maintaining a reserve of around 5 million yen. Consistent daily operations are key to long-term profitability, which may take 6 months to a year. The new bank feature allows loans based on credit ratings. The store list feature simplifies multi-store management by providing a centralized overview of all locations. This page presents the start of a comprehensive strategy guide section for SEGA Saturn software. The striking artwork features 4 anime-style characters: a stern man in a suit, a professional woman in a pink suit, a woman in a police-like uniform, and a young man in a jacket. The page highlights strategy guides for several notable SEGA Saturn games that have recently been released. Readers can find in-depth walkthroughs and tips for titles such as the action game Burning Rangers, the visual novel Even the Lost One, the RPG The Legend of Heroes, A Tear of Vermilion, the acclaimed RPG Panzer Dragoon Saga, the unique visual novel Mashi, and the compilation Langrisser, Dramatic Edition. The section promises data and key points to help players master these diverse gaming experiences. This article explores the special rescuers and unlockable bonuses within the SEGA Saturn game, Burning Rangers. Rescuing specific individuals in Mission 1, like Takao Miyoshi, Satoshi Okano, and Hideaki Moriya, grants hidden passwords. These passwords unlock unique rewards, including the special BGM mode, allowing players to experience the game with characters like Big and Lead, and featuring music by Takenobu Mitsuyoshi, with navigation cues removed. Another bonus is Special Extra Images, providing access to CG artwork created by the rescuers themselves. Players can view these illustrations after receiving an email from the rescued individual. The article emphasizes the variety these bonuses add, with characters like Big offering a different gameplay experience due to varying movement speeds. The article encourages players to continue rescuing special individuals to fully unlock the game's hidden content. This guide focuses on the second half of Burning Rangers Mission 3, a high-action section of the Gravity Zero/Space Colony Firebird. It emphasizes early rescues, as these provide crucial ionoid cards for accessing bonus rooms with crystals. The guide details the door sequence and switch activations needed to navigate the large zero-gravity room after Gate B03. It advises on defeating Hat B enemies using long-range attacks or evasion. An Isoid card from the first half is essential to unlock a crystal-filled room. A recap of the first half highlights strategic points: reaching upper levels through double jumps, utilizing the second floor, and navigating the maintenance street corridor. It also revisits the 4-switch room, requiring an ill card, and the canned boss fight strategy, avoiding its path. The final point is about reaching rescuers, located behind metallic grids. This page covers the latter half of Mission 3 in Burning Rangers, focusing on key objectives and the final boss encounter. The guide notes the game is nearing its conclusion and highlights the difficulty of the final stages. One crucial step involves activating a switch deep in a corridor and immediately returning to a large zero-gravity room, where the limit value increases rapidly, suggesting floating in the center to avoid explosions. Navigating fire hazards requires careful timing and observation, waiting for flames to subside before advancing. Another section details finding a specific door among several in a narrow passage.
The accessible one is the left-hand door leading to a switch. A useful tip is to change the camera viewpoint at corners, using the L/ER buttons for safer navigation, especially given the penalty for falling and the time pressure. The most challenging part is the rescue of Neil, a pilot who must be carried to the escape pod, severely restricting the player's movement and making evasion difficult on the short, dangerous path. The guide then introduces the third mission boss, Granz, referred to as Iguru G. The strategy is to attack its core, which is revealed by damaging its body with charged shots. Players must dodge its arm attacks with jumps, and are advised to stay close while focusing fire on the core. Screenshots depict these various locations and the boss fight strategy. This page provides an overview of the game Even the Lost One, highlighting the geographical relationships between key locations where incidents occur. Presented as part of the SEGA Saturn Guide lineup and featured at Tokyo Game Show '98 Spring, this multi-site adventure game centers around a story that begins with a bombing and becomes intertwined with secret research at an underground biology institute located beneath an aquarium. The page details several important locations within the game's urban setting, illustrating them with screenshots and mapping their positions relative to one another. Featured spots include the Altair Corporation's president's office in the World Import Tower, various retail and dining establishments within the tower like a boutique and restaurant, the Cabinet Research Office, the protagonist Natsumi Suzuki's house, Snake's house, a park with a cafe pose, and the Genesis SeaWorld Aquarium housing the secretive Mochizuki Institute of Biology. The story follows two protagonists, a new investigator from the Cabinet Research Office named Kyoko Kirino, and a mysterious person known as Snake, who is a bomber. The narrative progresses from their respective viewpoints. Visual aids, like the included map, help players understand the layout of the city and the movement range of the characters as they investigate the incidents. This guide details the shortest paths for Kyoko Kirino and Snake in Eve the Lost One, as presented at Tokyo Game Show '98 Spring. The charts, covering June 2nd and 3rd, streamline gameplay by outlining essential actions and locations to progress the story efficiently. Kyoko's routes involve locations like her home, the World Import Tower, Genesis SeaWorld, and the Cabinet Investigation Office. Snake's routes include the World Import Tower, a soba restaurant, and the park. The guides specify actions such as interacting with characters and navigating areas. The page also introduces key characters, including Ayano Sakai, Natsumi Nishikita, Chief Kohno, and Grandma Iguni. A note suggests that while these routes are the fastest, exploring beyond them may reveal additional story content. An image of the World Import Tower is also included. The next page continues the extensive guide for Eve the Lost One, specifically focusing on shortest paths presented at the Tokyo Game Show '98 Spring. Following from the previous page's coverage of Kyoko and Snake, this section provides character profiles for several other key figures in the game. Featured are Marina Hojo, described as a former top investigator now serving as an instructor; Yoichi Miho, an investigator known for his footwork and network; Yuji Eguni, a part-time aquarium worker who enjoys hacking; Adonis, a mysterious polygonal bear with advanced hacking skills; Maihana, a student working part-time at Cafe Pose; Monica, also working at Cafe Pose; and Kaiko Kudo, the president of Altair Corporation troubled by business performance. The page also includes shortest path charts for some of these characters, similar to the previous page. These charts detail efficient routes through various locations like Genesis SeaWorld, the World Import Tower, the Cabinet Investigation Office headquarters, character homes, parks, and specific establishments like Cafe Pose and a soba restaurant. The charts list essential actions required to progress, such as talking to specific characters, looking at objects or areas, listening, moving between locations, and thinking. These guides are invaluable for players looking to quickly navigate the game's branching paths, though they represent just one way to experience the complex narrative of Eve the Lost One. This page continues the guide for Eve the Lost One, specifically presenting the Snake Arc shortest chart from the Tokyo Game Show '98 Spring Exhibition. It provides a detailed, step-by-step walkthrough focusing on an efficient route through Snake's part of the story. The chart lists sequential actions such as moving between locations like the Cabinet Investigation Office headquarters, the World Import Tower, the park, Cafe Pose, Snake's home, and the exhibition hall. It also details interactions like talking to characters, including Reina, Sakuraba, Yuji, Natsumi, Monica, Mina, and Adonis, looking at specific objects or areas, thinking, and using computers for tasks like checking mail, hacking, searching, and viewing data or videos. This guide offers a clear path for players navigating Snake's investigation. This page delves deeper into Even the Lost One, providing crucial context for the story and continuing the walkthrough for the Snake arc. At the top, there's a glossary explaining key terms from the narrative. It defines AD as an enhanced vaccine that uses modified viruses to target and self-destruct pathogens, and Lost One as a dangerous alteration of AD that causes immune cells to attack healthy tissue, explaining its rapid proliferation. It also defines memory as a special drug required to activate Eve, detailing its function of carrying digital data converted into a form that can be absorbed and used by Eve's system, essentially acting as a password to awaken her. Below the glossary, the Snake arc shortest chart continues, laying out a sequence of actions for the player controlling Snake. This guide takes you through various locations, such as Snake's home, Natsumi's room, Kyoko's house, a park, and Cafe Pose. It lists specific interactions, like looking at objects, thinking, talking to characters, moving between areas, searching locations, and using a computer for hacking and searching, offering an efficient path through this part of the game. On June 4th in Even the Lost One, the narrative intensifies, focusing on the protagonists Kyoko and Snake. Kyoko's arc begins with a dream, triggered by a call informing her of Sino's lover's murder, leading to an investigation. She discovers the victim was Sino's lover, and uncovers clues about top-secret research. Facing resistance at the Mochizuki Institute, she's forced to retreat. Snake, meanwhile, acquires the memory from Adonis, at a significant cost. He prepares a countermeasure involving Kyoko. He hacks into the Mochizuki Institute and Altair Corporation, finding surveillance equipment and evidence that Sakuraba is tracking Kyoko. The day underscores Snake's unease from the previous day and growing interest in Kyoko. The story builds toward its climax, with both characters navigating dangerous paths. The next page delves deeper into the events of Eve the Lost One, following the separate but converging paths of Kyoko and Snake. At the Altair Corporation, where Kyoko's investigation into the secret project is focused, the scene depicts a tense conversation within the president's office, highlighting the high stakes involved. Simultaneously at the park, Kyoko is shown offering comfort to Isana after a shocking event, while Kojiro and Shosei are seen in the midst of an argument, adding character depth and potential side plots. The internal investigation room proves to be a critical location where secrets are unveiled. Here, through interaction with Mikage, the true nature of the Mochizuki Institute's research is revealed as the development of a revolutionary vaccine called AD, a key piece of information for Kyoko's probe. Meanwhile, Snake's narrative progresses through different locations. At the Cafe Cape Pose, a seemingly ordinary meeting with Monica takes an unusual turn, with a strange visual occurrence hinted at in the image. Returning home, Snake is confronted by Adonis and given a mysterious brown bottle, which Snake believes is crucial for his protection. The image of a disturbing teddy bear is also shown, possibly related to the bottle or the memory Snake recently acquired. Finally, at the Soba restaurant, Snake gains vital intelligence from the proprietress about the enemy, further clarifying the dangers he faces after the previous day's events involving Adonis and tracking Sakuraba. The dialogue options suggest choices related to investigating Adonis and other topics. This page continues to cover Even the Lost One, focusing on later events for both Kyoko and Snake. Kyoko's investigation leads her back to Genesis SeaWorld, the aquarium, where she is rushed by headquarters and witnesses a second bombing incident. She takes a dolphin, crucial to the case, back to her home to protect it and discuss events with Reina. Later, after being shot at the aquarium, Kyoko goes to the internal investigation room to view an image of the culprit seen by the dolphin, where she encounters Monica, whose statement about Kyoko's task being finished raises suspicions about her true identity. Meanwhile, Snake believes he has uncovered the truth and heads to the Mochizuki Biological Research Institute. Thinking Kyoko saw him at the aquarium after leaving the lab, Snake prepares to eliminate evidence. His path also leads to the internal investigation room, which he infiltrates seeking a database about the mysterious brown bottle. He also encounters Monica here, who comments on the nature of the criminal. The narratives continue to intertwine as both protagonists deal with the aftermath of the bombings and delve deeper into the conspiracy. This page provides a strategy guide for the Sega Saturn title, The Legend of Heroes 2-1, Shiroki Majo. It focuses on the journey through the country of Gidona, specifically detailing the operation to rescue the character Chris. A clear action chart outlines the progression through key locations like the Hope Sand checkpoint, Baraka, the underground prison, the arena, the dry desert, the Jidona ruins, Gidonal, Yurugito's mansion, and the Dilt checkpoint. The guide highlights the battle in the arena, noting the surprising strength of the character Julio. It also discusses navigating towards Gidonal, presenting two paths, the dry desert route and the Gidona ruins route. The ruins route is recommended, as it involves fewer battles, making it a more efficient choice for progression. Additionally, the page touches on the unique culture of Gidona, described as a rare country where merchants, thriving in the hot desert environment, wield significant power. A brief section covers the geography and history, explaining that most of the territory is desert, and highlighting the opulent mansions in the capital city. The content provides useful tips and insights for players tackling this part of the adventure. This page continues the strategy guide for The Legend of Heroes 2, Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch, focusing on the Gidona region. It highlights a mini-event on the western desert route, where Badat can fall into quicksand, emphasizing nature's power. The guide details obtaining a fig in Gidonal by speaking to various shopkeepers, eventually getting it from Stella. Monster entries cover the sandworm, a large desert-dwelling creature, and a powerful dragon near the Dilt checkpoint, warning of its high combat ability despite its size. Strategies for defeating them are included, noting the sandworm is manageable alone, while the dragon requires full force. Key plot points include the events at Yurugito's mansion, where the party is captured but rescued by Stella, leading to a battle against Kandata and Yurugito, and advises focusing attacks on them, while Chris handles healing. Finally, the guide describes the encounter with the revived Ballart at the Dilt checkpoint, a strong enemy using magic attacks, whose defeat is necessary to proceed to Formicia. The page also points out local highlights, like the Baraka arena battles and the ancient ruins northeast of the city, and warns of recent bomb-related crimes in Baraka. This page delves into the world of a Giesel, Panzer Dragoon RPG, known internationally as Panzer Dragoon Saga, revealing shocking truths about the game's narrative and offering strategic insights. It explores the complex relationship between humanity and the aggressive organisms, suggesting that these creatures, surprisingly, were crucial for humanity's survival. The guide hints that the aggressive organisms are the true administrators of this world, and that everything, from the great battleships to the mysterious towers, is a legacy of the old world. Screenshots show key characters like Edge and Ajezel during these pivotal story moments. Beyond the lore, the page offers practical strategy, revealing secret techniques in Part 4. This includes details on the Gold Seed item, which boosts the dragon's maximum speed for better exploration, and highlights the Crimson Ruins as a location containing significant secrets related to the dragon itself. Enemy analysis is also provided, detailing the attacks and potential weaknesses of foes like the battle machine Garuda and the assault ship Malt. The page concludes with a bold statement, emphasizing that everything in this world originates from the excellent old world. This page dives deeper into the narrative of Panzer Dragoon Saga, revealing more about Apostle and the mysterious tower. It highlights dramatic moments and character perspectives, including quotes like, "I kidnapped Azel to give her a new purpose," and "Azel was the last weapon created by the dissidents." The page explains that the tower is intended to regenerate the world, and that the Empire is attempting to seize control, with Edge and the dragon pushing towards the top to stop them. Transitioning to gameplay strategy for the tower area, the guide notes that mind/skill and mobility type dragons are recommended due to the prevalence of Imperial enemies. It details specific enemies encountered, such as the self-propelled gunlunker, flamethrower boat Animera, and tactical landing craft Barrio. Crucial tactical advice is offered, emphasizing careful positioning during battles, particularly when facing multiple enemies like Animera and a berserker type. The page advises focusing on Anera first, then exploiting Lunker's weak point, and using defense-oriented berserker types like Thanos against Barrio due to its high attack power. This page presents a strategy guide for the Sega Saturn sound novel classic, Machi, Intersection of Fate, specifically focusing on some of the negative outcomes, or bad ends, that can occur early on Day 4. The guide warns players that the game is getting tougher as they progress into the 4th day. It breaks down bad ends for several key protagonists. Featured here are bad ends for Takamine Takashi, including bad end number 69, where he commits a serious act, killing a former lover,
around 7 p.m. The screenshots show intense character moments related to his storyline. For Ichikawa Fumiyasu, the guide details bad end number 65, which results in him being arrested around 4 p.m. Images depict Fumiyasu looking distressed, and scenes likely related to his capture or interrogation. Finally, Hosoi Miko's section covers bad end number 66, titled Movie Debut, occurring around 4:10 p.m. Despite the title, this outcome is presented as a bad end, implying the debut isn't a positive turn for her, perhaps leading her down a detrimental path. The accompanying images show Miko in various scenarios, hinting at the context of this unfortunate outcome. This page emphasizes the branching narrative nature of Mashai and the importance of understanding these critical points where a character's story can take a turn for the worse, highlighting the game's depth and challenge. This text analyzes 3 bad ends from the SEGA Saturn game Machi, Intersection of Fate, encountered early on day 4. These endings highlight the consequences of poor choices. Tobisawa Yohei's bad end, Yohei Awakens, involves a date with Minako disrupted by Terumi, tied to the game's chaotic nature. Amemiya Kima's deduction error, to deadly results, the deadly results of flawed reasoning, leading to 3 deaths. His investigation incorporates a TV fortune-telling program. Finally, Shinoda Tadashi's movie debut sees him in conflict related to a strange film project, surviving but failing to complete his mission, with hints of a worse outcome possible. These examples emphasize the game's unforgiving nature and the importance of careful decision-making. This page shifts focus to the actors behind the game Machi, Intersection of Fate, featuring an interview with Tomoe Amemiya, who played the character Yuki Katase. The interview delves into her experience playing Yuki, a character she found quite similar to herself. Despite the initial challenge of portraying an unmarried mother, she shares anecdotes about filming, including a funny story involving a prop baby doll. Amemiya also discusses her hobbies, mentioning her enjoyment of movies and gaming, particularly RPGs, though she admits to sometimes giving up on difficult games. She talks about her background in ballet and tennis. Currently working as a reporter, she expresses a desire to continue acting in the future. The page includes a profile detailing her birth date, measurements, and notable acting credits, including her regular appearance on TEB's King's Brunch as a reporter. Reader feedback is summarized, praising her character Yuki as cute and surprising. The page features several large images of Tomoe Amemiya, showcasing her appearance. This provides a fascinating look at one of the key figures bringing the characters of Machi, which was discussed in the previous page's analysis of game endings, to life. This webpage features actor Masaru Matsuda, best known for his role in the SEGA Saturn game Machi, Intersection of Fate. An interview with Matsuda reveals insights into his acting career, starting with his debut after being selected from a large applicant pool. He reflects on the pressures of working on a high-budget project like Machi, describing the filming process as akin to making a film. Matsuda emphasizes the importance of serious acting and critiques what he sees as a decline in quality in some Japanese productions, advocating for skilled acting and storytelling over quick action. His background in martial arts informs his perspective on realistic fight scenes. He also expresses ambitions to direct and work internationally. The page includes a profile with his details, acting credits, reader feedback, and a giveaway for signed autographs. Visuals include photos of Matsuda and a screenshot from Machi. This page adds to the understanding of the game by focusing on Matsuda, following an earlier interview with actress Tomoe Amemiya. This page features a strategy guide for the SEGA Saturn game Allured. The main focus is on achieving specific endings, particularly the fugitive ending where you escape with the culprit, and the various character endings with the girls you encounter. The guide emphasizes that while escaping the haunted mansion is the immediate goal, the real challenge and objective is the relationship you forge with the girls met inside. It explains that securing an ending with a specific girl is difficult and requires effort. Through a queue and a format, the guide addresses common player frustrations. It states that you don't necessarily have to save every character, and sometimes being ruthless might be required to achieve your desired character ending, as the survival of other characters can influence the outcome. It explains that endings are determined by accumulating points from events, while both side events, for intimacy, and trap-solving events award points. Focusing on events involving your target girl is crucial, and avoiding actions with other characters, like the teacher if she isn't your goal, is recommended to ensure you get the desired ending. The guide reveals there are 22 different endings in the game, not including game overs, based on your success in escaping and which specific events, especially multi-character ones, you trigger. Screenshots show interactions with characters like Norma, Isumi, and Kuju, illustrating key moments. This page is a strategy guide for the Sega Saturn game Allured, focusing on achieving events related to the character Marie, a beautiful teacher with a hidden regret. The guide details specific scenarios and how to trigger them. One event involves finding a liquid that floats an iron piece in the reference room during action with Marie, requiring a floppy disk, and solving a chemistry problem to gain her favor. Another describes encountering her agitated appearance, reflected in a mirror in the second-floor lobby, leading to an unexpected discovery. The guide also covers a humiliating event where Marie is found handcuffed on a table in the living room or kitchen after meeting other characters, unlocked with a suspicious key. Additionally, it explains an event triggered by footsteps in the living room, where you investigate a vent Marie is staring at, requiring a rag and screwdriver to find an item, dust, crucial for her life or death. Finally, a nostalgic event involves interacting with a music box in the closet, using a doll screw to make it play, and hearing Marie's surprising childhood story. Screenshots accompany each event description, showing Marie in various situations. A one-point tip notes that achieving Marie's ending has a lower priority compared to others, and requires saving everyone else except her, suggesting it as a last resort path. The Allured strategy guide focuses on Rika, the protagonist's childhood friend, detailing her significant role and multiple endings. Rika has more story paths than other characters, including a unique gold ending and a dramatic event in a burning room. The guide highlights key events. The Thank You Gold event occurs in the piano room after using a small key, where Rika expresses her gratitude at the piano. Another critical event involves opening a chained door in a dark room with a rope and pedal. A perilous event is the burning piano room. If the exit is blocked by fire and Rika is missing, she's trapped. Saving her requires using a fire extinguisher and triggering an alarm. Prerequisites for this event include reading about fires, helping Rika, obtaining the gold event, and finding a cassette tape. Screenshots illustrate these key moments. This page introduces a new character in the Allured, the beautiful and mysterious girl named Hane, who lives within the abandoned house. She's depicted holding a small white dog and appears quite shy, running away when approached. The magazine teases that more detailed information about her will be revealed in future issues. The page also provides more details on specific events involving Rika. One event describes a sentimental moment in the washing area, recalling a sports day injury. Another is a tense encounter where Rika is found soaked in chemicals, requiring immediate help. There's also an event where Rika becomes visibly happier and more affectionate after being asked about calling the protagonist's name. Further events cover finding a key item for the gold event path in an underground storage room, using a needle hammer after saving Rika from a locked room. And a moment near a piranha tank, where Rika gets flustered and falls after the protagonist uses an armor hand. These event descriptions offer clear triggers and outcomes for players pursuing Rika's story routes. This page is a detailed guide for unlocking the numerous endings in the Sega Saturn game Kunoichi Torimonoucho. It highlights that the game features a total of 16 different endings, heavily influenced by the protagonist Ran's various stats and a hidden compatibility parameter with other characters. The guide breaks down the conditions for achieving these endings into several key points, covering requirements related to wealth, training intensity, minigame participation, and levels of goodwill or affection. Specific endings are linked to achieving high or low values in these areas, such as becoming a wealthy merchant, a disappointed gambler, a wandering pirate, or even marrying certain characters like the swordsman. The page also outlines 6 types of failure endings, where Ran retires prematurely. Supporting the text are screenshots and dialogue bubbles showing scenes associated with these different paths. The guide offers practical tips, like methods for quickly lowering goodwill or increasing compatibility with characters like the swordsman, helping players navigate the complex web of requirements to see all possible conclusions. This page continues the guide for the Sega Saturn title Kunoichi Torimonoucho, shifting focus from endings to the acquisition of special event cards, which grant abilities or summon characters. The guide details how to obtain several key cards, including the Kairu, frog, Yoshino, Yoki Hono no Tama, demonic fire orb,
Kindan no Gofu, Forbidden Talisman, and 3 variations of the Shigatonin, Professional card. Acquiring these cards involves completing specific tasks, such as feeding tadpoles, helping characters in the Pleasure District, undergoing training, achieving certain character stats like charisma or intelligence, and even mastering difficult minigames like the Fukusuke Drawing Challenge, for which a strategy using tracing paper is humorously suggested. The page highlights particular cards like Yoshino, noted for its exceptional power that can prevent battle losses, and the Forbidden Talisman, described as a flashy card with special moves unlocked by having sufficient charisma and finding a suspicious character. Obtaining the Shigatonin cards often involves pursuing wanted individuals across different locations. Finally, a quick tip is offered for card battles, suggesting a strategy using only the Sasuke card to maximize spirit for special moves, ideally paired with the Yoshino card. There's also a small note about character interactions before certain battles, encouraging players to explore dialogue options for interesting story details. This page focuses on strategy tips for the mid-game and later scenarios of Langrisser Dramatic Edition, specifically covering episodes 1, scenarios 11 through 20. The introduction advises players that while Ledin and Chris are strong, it's crucial to develop lower-level characters. However, due to maps with limited deployment slots, attempting to level everyone equally can lead to a weakened overall force. The recommended approach is to focus on a core group of 45 main units and use spare resources to develop others. The guide then breaks down strategies for 10 different scenarios, each with a small map screenshot. Key tactics highlighted include splitting forces to handle objectives like bridges, Scenario 11, finding ways to protect your commander from powerful magic like Meteor, Scenario 12 and 19, utilizing specific unit types like Lancers against certain enemies, and skills like Jessica's Turn Undead, Scenario 13 and 14. It emphasizes quickly defeating troublesome enemies or objectives, such as Nicholas, whose magic can incapacitate party members, Scenario 17, or ballistas, which pose a significant threat, Scenario 19 and 20. The guide suggests using terrain effectively, Scenario 16, ambushing enemies to reduce their numbers, Scenario 18, and even using magic users strategically against central threats like Zavalar, Scenario 20. It also mentions acquiring powerful items like the Dragon Slayer, Scenario 16, and notes how certain characters like Lasar can help clear enemies, Scenario 15. The tone suggests that careful planning, unit composition, and prioritizing targets are essential for success in these later stages. This Langrisser Dramatic Edition guide for Episode 2 focuses on branching scenarios and tactical gameplay. Players must pay close attention to map numbers, as the balance of forces changes with each path. Starting from map 38, the guide offers detailed strategies for various maps. Key tactics include using Lancers as a wall, quickly acquiring the Holy Sword, and managing enemy reinforcements. Players are advised to prioritize eliminating dangerous enemies like those with long-range attacks and magic. Careful unit placement, utilizing terrain, protecting commanders, and controlling the battle flow through ambushes are crucial. The guide emphasizes unit composition, exploiting unit-type advantages like phalanx versus ballistas, and adapting strategies to each map's specific challenges. Strategic decision-making, rather than brute force, is essential for success. This page is the Satamaga Forum, Volume 12, showcasing reader contributions and community discussions. The cover pinup features chaotic fan art by Tambi Seijin Mosan from Kanagawa Prefecture. The VR Art Museum sections display fan artwork related to games like Virus and Ladykiller, along with a detailed papercraft piece. The Megaten meeting room includes discussions from fans about the Megami Tensei series, reflecting on its history, unique gameplay compared to other RPGs, and specific elements in Devil Summoners, Soul Hackers, like the Tree of Life imagery, the Soul Hackers queue, and a section clarifies how to access the limited-time VR Park event in the game, explaining it requires clearing the Leon Car factory and obtaining a fake Aidoid through email. It notes this event is only available at a specific point in the story. Finally, there's a brief announcement about 10th anniversary Megami Tensei Zippo lighters being released. The page concludes with a call for reader submissions, featuring charming fan art of Jack Frost and another character. This page presents the third part of an introductory course on digital cameras, titled Around the Digiana World. It focuses on selecting digital cameras, specifically covering entry to mid-range models, with resolutions from 250,000 to 810,000 pixels, with a promise to cover megapixel cameras later. The article proposes 4 principles for digital cameras considered as information tools, useful for quickly checking photos, displaying them on TVs, increasing shot count, and transferring images to computers or printing. It discusses the 250,000 pixel class, highlighting the Sega Digio as an entry model fulfilling these principles. The 350,000 pixel class is described as more focused on basic functionality, with models like the Fujifilm DS30, Casio QV10, and QV70 mentioned. The 810,000 pixel class, including models from Epson, Olympus, Sanyo, like the DSCX1, is noted as having higher image quality and some models being pioneers in the field. The author expresses a personal liking for the design of the Sanyo DSCX1. Visually, the page features photos of the Sega Digio camera, a demonstration of printing photos from the Digio using a print service, and a screenshot of the Sanyo DSCX1's interface. A large panel shows a humorous scene with a talking cat and a talking character, resembling a rappy, in speech bubbles featuring Kansai dialect. The page also includes a profile of the author, Kazutoshi Otani, a technology writer, and notes this is the 28th installment of a bi-weekly serial. This page features Volume 21 of Arcade Express, introducing the latest and currently operating titles at amusement spots. The main focus is on the new puzzle game, Yu-O Poco, a collaboration between Cave and Jaleco. Described as a fresh take on the puzzle genre, the game stands out for its incredibly simple control scheme, using just one lever, allowing players to play casually, even with one hand. It's not a typical falling block game, but rather a shooting game, where you launch bubbles. The article praises the game's charm, highlighting its cute characters, beautiful graphics, and pleasant sound effects that enhance the gameplay experience. The presentation is also noted as being excellent and visually stimulating, with expressive cat characters adding to the fun. The game features 30 stages, with the underwater aquarium environment and the types of fish changing as you progress deeper. Screenshots showcase the colorful bubble-matching gameplay and the game's interface. There's also a photo of promotional staff with the game's tiger mascot, emphasizing its arcade presence. Yu-O Poco supports two-player competitive play. This page continues the look at Yu-O Poco, delving deeper into the gameplay mechanics that make this puzzle shooter unique. The core principle is simple. Match 3 or more bubbles of the same color by shooting them to make them disappear. Clearing all bubbles on a stage is the goal. But beware, if the bubble wall rises to the top, it's game over. What really adds depth is the introduction of various special bubbles. There are bubbles that change properties when neighbors pop, ones that assimilate the color they hit, and even a raise bubble that makes the floor rise when cleared. Though the text hints at interesting effects if it rolls. You'll also encounter bubbles that are indestructible or explode on contact, and a submarine bubble that clears bubbles below it with a laser when hit. The stages themselves have thematic titles offering strategic hints. Mastering the timing and aiming, along with effectively using these special bubbles, is key to progressing through the game's 30 screens. The thrill of triggering a great chain reaction by setting off cascading bubble pops is highlighted as the true essence of this puzzle game. Despite the variety, the controls remain simple with just one lever, making it accessible and fun, even in the two-player mode where cooperative, or disruptive, play is possible. The vibrant visuals and the expressive cat character continue to enhance the charming arcade experience. This page dives into the upcoming arcade title, Virtual on Oratorio Tangram. The spotlight is on the new Virtuoroid, SGV 417L Angelin, who stands out significantly from the typical mechs in the series. Described as a new type, Angelin has the appearance of a magical girl from a fantasy world. Her movement is characterized as a gentle float rather than pure speed, suggesting a focus on positioning and timing over raw agility. However, the text hints at a deep potential that compensates for this apparent weakness. Angelin's primary weapon is her staff, which allows for a variety of powerful attacks centered around ice and water magic. These include calling upon ice dragons, firing ice bullets, and creating ice walls, showcasing a fighting style unlike anything seen before in Virtual On. The page also details some of her attacks, listing them as hand shot, left trigger, crystal BII, both triggers, and rod shot, right trigger. Screenshots depict the game's character select screen, showing off some of the diverse roster available in this highly anticipated versus action game. The game is stated to be nearing release in arcades, with a completion rate over 89%, promising an exciting reveal of the full Virtuoroid lineup. This page continues the deep dive into the upcoming arcade title, Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, specifically focusing on the newly revealed Virtuoids. Alongside Angeline from the previous page, the spotlight here falls on the imposing RVR-37 Spicinef, dubbed the Reaper's Judgment, and described as a grudge-cursing assassin machine. Spicinef is noted for its distinctive appearance, resembling a scarecrow with large wings and a strikingly thin waist. Its combat style is unique, centered around its three main attacks: the scythe, left trigger; the boomerang, both triggers; and the long launcher, right trigger. The long launcher is particularly versatile, transforming into a devastating scythe for close-quarters combat. The page also highlights its turbo shot, a large light bullet designed for strategic play to lure opponents. Accompanying screenshots showcase Spicinef and other newly revealed Virtuoids, including APHARMDS and Greifswald, on the character select screen, confirming the expanded roster. A comment from Dr. Watari confirms that 11 of the 12 operable Virtuoids can now be unveiled, including new types like those mentioned. He encourages players to dive into the game upon release, stating it's an easy title to pick up and enjoy. This page continues the coverage of the arcade hit, Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, unveiling more of the impressive Virtuoid lineup. Featured here is the RVR-42 Cypher, a high-mobility transformable machine. Cypher is noted for its exceptional maneuverability, particularly its performance in aerial combat, a key feature highlighted by its transformation capability. Its weapon set includes the dagger for close combat, a versatile beam launcher, and a multi-launcher, showcasing a good variety of attack options with improved reach compared to previous models like Viper 2. Screenshots demonstrate Cypher in action, highlighting its agility and beam attacks. Also revealed is the SAV 326D Greifswald, a multi-purpose firepower-equipped machine. As its name suggests, Greifswald excels in heavy ordnance, primarily focusing on missile attacks. Its arsenal features an overhead launcher, shoulder launchers, and a formidable missile launcher. The page emphasizes the overwhelming number of missiles Greifswald can unleash, describing them like a needle mountain. Despite its seemingly bulky appearance, like it's loaded down with weapons, its speed is also commented on as being exceptional. Screenshots show Greifswald unleashing its devastating missile barrages. The focus for this machine is clearly on raw destructive power. This page continues the detailed look at the Virtuoids in Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, showcasing two vastly different machines. Featured prominently is the RVR-68 Dordre, classified as a super heavy armor assault machine. True to its name, Dordre is built for brute force, highlighted by its powerful drill on the left arm and a devastating claw launcher on the right. The description notes the drill's ability to latch onto opponents and even pierce through walls, while the claw is capable of a formidable turbo close-range attack. Dordre is presented as a heavy, intimidating presence on the battlefield, built for direct, overwhelming assault. The page also introduces the XBV-819TR Barbados, a complex multifunctional prototype machine. This Virtuoid takes a less direct approach, moving nimbly around the arena. Its defining feature is the ejectable remote launcher, ERL, which can deploy a variety of attacks, including floating mines and ring lasers. Barbados is described as a difficult-to-understand, versatile machine focusing on complex attack patterns through its unique remote weapon system. Screenshots illustrate both machines in action, highlighting Dordre's close-range power and Barbados's deployment of its ERL. This page effectively contrasts a heavy assault unit with a complex, multifunctional prototype. This page continues the detailed look at the Virtuoids in Virtual on Oratorio Tangram from the previous page, focusing on two variants of the APHARMD unit. First up is the RVR-33 APHARMDS, classified as a super firepower enhanced machine. This version swaps the close-range focus for increased projectile power, featuring a powerful grenade launcher on the shoulder and a knife. The text notes that its enhanced firepower sets it apart from its counterpart. Below it is the RVR-39 APHARMDB, described as a super melee combat-capable machine. This unit is built for close-quarters combat, equipped with devastating tongfars on both arms and a submachine gun. The description highlights its strength when an opponent is close, but mentions a potential weakness if the enemy maintains distance. The text also briefly touches on the tonfa's feel compared to the previous game. Screenshots on the page showcase both the APHARMDS and APHARMDB in action within the game's environments, demonstrating their distinct combat styles. The next page continues our look into Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, presenting 3 more distinct Virturoids ready for battle. We start with the MBV-707F Temjin, the game's high versatility standard machine. It's the go-to unit for beginners, offering a balanced set of abilities including the power bomb, a versatile sword that also functions at range, and the long launcher. The power bomb's behavior even shifts based on Temjin's movement state. Next is the RVR-14 Fayin the Knight, a high mobility unit known for its charming, graceful movement. Don't let its appearance fool you. Fayin delivers persistent attacks with its sword and hand beam and boasts a powerful beam irradiator. It can also enter a hyper mode when pushed, and its shoulder lasers remain as potent as ever. The page colorfully states, "Its heart is hot and burning." Rounding out this page is the HBV-502H Raiden, the high-performance optical weapon-equipped heavy assault machine. Raiden is built for raw power, featuring the ground napalm, a dynamic laser attack, and the formidable hyper bazooka. Its attacks require careful management due to their varying properties, but its destructive potential is unmatched. Screenshots show Temjin's agile combat, Fayin's radiant hyper mode, and Raiden unleashing its heavy artillery. The page excitedly announces the start of the countdown to the game's release. This page kicks off the All Character Check series for Fighting Vipers 2 in the AM2 Express Weekly Volume 91. The spotlight is on Emmy, a new character described as having tricky movements as her charm. Her profile lists her as a 12-year-old girl. Her story involves her grandfather, who is a master of mechanical engineering, being kidnapped. Emmy hacks into the city's computer network to find him, and uses a teddy mech given to her by her grandfather to become a Viper and go rescue him. Emmy's fighting style is unique, focusing on attacks from a prone position and utilizing the bear attached to her back. The page notes her unconventional moves are fun to play and watch. Screenshots illustrate some of her provisional techniques, including various kick combinations and attacks initiated from lying down. It also highlights details about the game's system and balance, mentioning it's a versus fighting game scheduled for release that spring on the Model 3 Step 2 board. This page continues the character profiles for Fighting Vipers 2. Here we look at Charlie and Mahler. Charlie is presented as a 17-year-old male high school student and a BMX expert. His story reveals he was a rival to Picky from a young age and decided to become a Viper after Picky did. Abandoned as a child, he was raised by a black nun. His fighting style heavily incorporates BMX tricks, including various rides, wheelies, kicks, and slams, using the bike itself as a weapon. The page highlights his flashy and technical BMX BASED attacks. Mahler is a 22-year-old male and a professional wrestling expert. His profile describes him as silent, with a strong sense of justice and mission. His mysterious story involves him fighting against the corrupt government controlled by BM, and suggests he may have been honing his skills elsewhere after disappearing for 2 years. Mahler is described as an all-purpose fighter with no blind spots, combining devastating strikes with varied combos and numerous throws. Screenshots show his powerful German suplex, knuckle attacks, heel drop, hurricane punch, throws like a vertical DDT, and high kick combinations. He is noted for his versatile moveset and ability to generate combos easily. This page features a guide to SEGA Rally 2, presented as Report Volume 5, titled How to Driving. It aims to provide fundamental tips for players, even those new to the game. The guide starts by explaining the game modes: Championship, which involves racing across 4 courses, and Practice, where you can repeatedly run individual courses. It suggests practicing challenging courses before tackling the championship. Next, it covers selecting a machine, noting there are 6 cars in total with 3 main drivetrain types: Ford, WD, FF, and Mr. It points out that the Ford Escort and Toyota Corolla are good Ford WD choices for those looking to slide and improve times, while the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution V is recommended for its stability, making it suitable for beginners learning courses. The guide also highlights the game's advertising demo as a must-see, featuring impressive driving by professional rally drivers, and even showcasing the previous player's attempt if they didn't finish the game. The page is illustrated with various gameplay screenshots of different cars on different rally stages. This page continues the SEGA Rally 2 guide, offering further tips on driving technique. It advises that while the game offers both automatic and manual transmissions, manual is generally advantageous for utilizing the power band and engine braking, though skilled players can still be fast with automatic. It also discusses viewpoint selection, noting that the driver view is immersive, but rear views are better for judging car position, especially during drifts. The guide highlights improved cornering in SEGA Rally 2, where drifting is more natural with steering input compared to the previous game's focus on weight transfer, though surface grip still matters. It also explains using the handbrake for initiating controlled slides on tight hairpin corners, suggesting it's most effective below 100 km per hour. The realism extends to course details, featuring dynamic spectators who react as you pass, and animals like ostriches on the desert stage. A section looks back at the dramatic 1997 WRC season, noting Mitsubishi's Meikonen winning the Drivers' Championship and Subaru taking the manufacturer's title after a fierce battle. The page also includes general information and a call for player feedback and questions about SEGA Rally 2. This page features an announcement for the fan book covering the Sakura Wars OVA series, known internationally as Sakura Wars, the gorgeous blooming cherry blossoms. The fan book is the first volume and is scheduled for release in late April at a price of 2,100 yen. It focuses on the first 2 episodes of the OVA, providing story digests and character introductions for the Imperial Assault Force, alongside newly created setting materials for the animation. The artwork on the page showcases several key characters from the series, including Sakura Shinguji, Sumire Kanzaki, Iris Chateaubriand, Kana Kirishima, and Ri Kohran. The fanbook is published by SoftBank, in collaboration with the OVA production partners. Information on purchasing the fanbook is also included at the bottom of the page. This page announces the release of the PC version of the popular arcade fighting game Last Bronx, developed by SEGA PCR&D. The article highlights that this port is a faithful rendition of the arcade original, following the successful port of Virtual On. Interviews with developers from SEGA PCR&D and AM3R&D discuss the challenges of bringing the game to PC while ensuring performance on various machine specifications and maintaining visual quality. Key features mentioned include the ability to use character models from the Saturn version and support for network play via LAN, modem, or cross-cable, allowing players to compete remotely. The page also lists the operating environment, system requirements for the PC version, and features several screenshots showcasing the game's 3D weapon-based combat. Finally, there's a giveaway offering readers a chance to win Last Bronx posters, or the PC game software itself. This page is titled Cyber Troopers Virtual On Over, Tentative, Volume 51, written by Suzuki Doitsu, and serves as a community focus section, specifically a follow-up corner for fan submissions related to the game Cyber Troopers Virtual On. The main body features a discussion between Suzuki Doitsu and another contributor as they review and comment on various fan works. Highlighted submissions include fan magazines like Virtual Complex and Nirvana 2, appreciating the effort involved in creating them. They also discuss fan art featuring Virtual On characters like Fei-En, Temjin, and Viper 2, often in anime styles, praising the creativity and skill of the contributors. Other submissions mentioned range from reports on fan events to alternative song lyrics and unique artistic interpretations of the game's world. The section expresses gratitude to the fans for their contributions and welcomes future submissions, showing how this part of the magazine has evolved to showcase the vibrant Virtual On fan community. This page continues the Virtual On Fan Corner, showcasing a Spring VR Doujinshi Festival, featuring various fan-created works. Several doujinshi are highlighted, including Virtual Complex by DN Company, which provides in-depth analysis of the X-Band version of Virtual On, interviews, and reports on hidden game elements, all presented with high-quality DTP. Nirvana 2 by Zunchaka is a personal project featuring appealing artwork and including character badges. Cyber Idol Mahjong Battle Machine by Black Bandit is a 4-panel manga drawing inspiration from Idol Mahjong Final Romance R, focusing on character interactions like Banbina and Fei-En, and even offers a unique interpretation of Viper 2. Aerial Kiss from Kanamachi Beast Association includes adult-themed manga featuring virtual mahjong characters, both male and female, praised for its artistic quality. The page also features a music CD compilation titled Bacha Metal under Project Paradise 21, which includes Virtual On tracks alongside anime theme songs, described as well composed, but perhaps lacking a bit of edge. Another section, VRG System CDR by Disc Break, presents a fan artist's work on CDR with a distinct style for Virtual On girls. The page celebrates the creative energy and diverse output of the Virtual On fan community. This page features a Hello! Capcom Special, Volume 48, focusing on various Capcom merchandise and media. The top section highlights Darkstalkers, Vampire Savior, characters appearing as detailed resin-cast garage kits. These kits require assembly and painting, but are presented as high-quality collectibles that capture the character's essence. Featured characters include Felicia, QB, Lilith, and Jeddah, showcasing their dynamic poses. The lineup includes characters like Jada, Felicia, Shenko, Bishamon, and Lilith, with Morrigan and Lilith planned for later release. There's also coverage on the second volume of the Resident Evil, Biohazard, drama CD series, described as a continuation of the story in a Raccoon City hospital setting, delving into the fate of infected patients. A unique item featured is a minigame device based on Mega Man X, shaped like his helmet. This device allows players to aim for the strongest by collecting power-ups to defeat Mavericks and Sigma, featuring boss appearances and even supporting versus battles via a connection plug, allowing players to save data. Additionally, the page includes a fan art corner showcasing reader submissions with various illustrations and short comics, primarily featuring characters from Capcom titles. Finally, there's a call for postcard submissions related to Vampire Savior to celebrate its Saturn release, offering a prize drawing for Biohazard 2 logo pens. This page provides a report from the AOU show, focusing on Capcom's presence. The highlight is clearly Star Gladiator 2, known internationally as Plasma Sword. The report notes the game features new characters, techniques, and improved effects, alongside system additions like the Plasma Field. Photos show the bustling Capcom booth, with people lining up to play and receive promotional items. Capcom's booth also featured numerous cosplayers, dressed as various characters from Star Gladiator 2 and other Capcom titles, showcasing the diverse range of fan-favorite female characters. There's also a section detailing a prize giveaway for readers who played Plasma Sword at the AOU show or via the Rocket Online service, asking for impressions or illustrations. Finally, the page includes Volume 10 Onslaught, a feature explaining the character Onslaught. It describes his origin from the Fatal Attraction storyline in X-Men comics, born from the combined mental energies of Magneto and Professor X, possessing their formidable powers. The text positions him as a major threat in the Marvel Universe, and notes his appearance in Capcom fighting games, implying his role in Marvel vs. Capcom. Illustrations and photos of the character are included. This guide reveals how to unlock and play as 3 secret characters in Marvel vs. Capcom. Clash of Superheroes. Hulk, based on his Marvel Superheroes appearance, trades super armor for a more technical style, selected with a circular cursor movement. Morrigan adopts elements of Lilith from Darkstalkers, featuring modified moves despite her familiar appearance, activated through a sequence of diagonal and vertical inputs. Hyper Armor War Machine gains heavy armor and missile-based projectile attacks, but sacrifices flight and speed. His selection requires a unique stick movement pattern. Each hidden character offers distinct playstyles, adding depth to the game's roster and providing unique strategic options for players. This page delves further into the secrets of Marvel vs. Capcom. Clash of Superheroes, focusing on 2 more unlockable characters. Roll, a fan favorite from the Mega Man series, is highlighted for her diminutive size, making her difficult to target, though her reach is limited. Her moves mirror Mega Man's, but with varied performance. The page provides a diagram showing the specific cursor movement required to select her. High-Speed Venom is introduced as an incredibly fast character, capable of extensive ground combos, but his low defense leaves him vulnerable, especially to aerial assaults. His selection method is also detailed via a diagram. The guide then explains the special partner select via a roulette mechanism and outlines the conditions needed to unlock all the secret characters, including Roll, High-Speed Venom, Hulk, Lith-style Morrigan, and Hyper Armor War Machine, based on criteria like finishing moves and partner usage. Players can also earn bonus points by manipulating their character's victory pose. Lastly, a section invites fan participation and ideas for a joint shooting game project between Capcom and Saikyo, showcasing fan support for the initiative. This page is dedicated to the world of Elf games, titled Zoom In Elf, and marking its 10th installment. It features an interview or diary entry from Kimiko Furuyama, known as Kimi-chan, who recounts her experience participating in an open audition and the challenges of voice acting, particularly reading lines and performing improv in front of a large audience. She also mentions voicing the character Yuno. The main focus shifts to an upcoming Elf release for Windows 95, titled Shusaku, set to launch on March 27th. This is described as a voyeur adventure game, rated 18+, where the player takes on the role of a manager infiltrating a girls' school. The objective involves discreetly placing cameras and video recorders in student rooms and bathrooms to secretly film their activities. The gameplay centers around observing and tracking the behavior of the students to obtain footage within a limited 2.5-day time frame. The article highlights the game's intent to deliver realistic visuals and audio for key scenes, showcasing character art and screenshots of the in-game interface, emphasizing the game's controversial premise and mechanics. This page is the 52nd installment of the Subtle Relationship of Get Art column, focusing on Chunsoft's adventure game, The Town, known in Japan as Machi. The article delves into the game's distinctive visual style, which utilizes still photographs rather than traditional animated graphics. The author discusses how this photographic approach relates to philosopher Roland Barthes' concept of corpse photography, arguing that a photograph captures a moment in time, essentially stopping motion, much like death. The game uses these still images to portray scenes, and the author feels this method uniquely conveys a sense of stillness or death that moving images cannot replicate. A specific example highlighted is a close-up shot of a boy's face in a Shibuya Game Center scene from the game. The piece includes information about the game, the town, its developer Chunsoft, and its release date and price. It also features a picture or drawing of a mummified head currently displayed in a church in Palermo, Italy, drawing a visual parallel to the theme of stillness or death. The author, Dr. Fuse Hideto, is introduced as a scholar and writer, with mention of his website and recent book. The overall tone suggests an appreciation for the game's unconventional artistic choice and its philosophical implications. This page is a weekly horoscope section presented by Hakozaki's mother, a fortune teller with over 20 years of experience. The dates covered are March 13th to March 20th. A small feature highlights the lucky person of the week, who is Terry Bogard from Slank's Fatal Fury series. There's a screenshot from a Fatal Fury game, likely real bout Fatal Fury, showing Terry fighting Mai Shiranui, a classic SNK matchup. The text suggests Terry might be a bit low on physical energy this week, but emphasizes overcoming challenges without overthinking. General fortunes for the week are provided for money, health, work/study, and love. The main part of the page offers horoscopes for all 12 zodiac signs, split into readings for boys and girls, each accompanied by a small illustration and a key to luck. At the bottom, symbols are explained, indicating levels of fortune ranging from in perfect condition to not quite there. It's interesting to see a gaming magazine incorporating horoscope content, using a popular fighting game character like Terry Bogard to add a unique touch to the weekly forecast. This page features the reader-submitted Extreme Secret Techniques corner for SEGA Saturn games. Submissions are ranked with prizes like SEGA Saturn software and book certificates. First up is a tip for the adventure game Dukoku Soshite. The secret here allows players to review all the game graphics they've seen during play after clearing the game. This is great for revisiting favorite character moments or scenes. Screenshots show character illustrations that can be viewed. Next, for SEGA Touring Car Championship, there's a secret concerning hidden cars. Two specific vehicles, the Toyota Celica GT4 and the Lancia Delta HF Integrale, can be unlocked. The process involves winning the championship mode on both the arcade side, including Grand Prix, and the Saturn side, using the Sega Racing Prot control scheme and an AI car. The screenshots show the car selection screen with the newly available cars. Finally, a secret for Winter Heat reveals the appearance of Discman characters. After the event type is displayed, inputting specific commands will change the on-screen character. There are commands for a yellow Discman, black Discman, and pink Discman. The screenshot shows the speed skiing event, with a Discman character visible. It's noted that while the character changes, their actual ability doesn't. This page is the weekly software review section, featuring impressions from female users, staff writers, and guest writers on upcoming SEGA Saturn games. First up is Princess Quest, an adventure RPG set for release on March 19th. While the game has a charming concept with a protagonist who can change gender and features attractive character designs by Sugiyama and notable voice actors, the reviews highlight significant system drawbacks. Issues like frequent, long loading times and tedious mechanics, particularly in dungeons, drag down the experience, despite an enjoyable scenario. It scores an average of 6.0. Next is Pro Yaku Greatest 998, a baseball simulation arriving on March 26th. This latest entry in the series
is widely praised for its polished gameplay. Reviewers note the realistic player movements, high-quality music and commentary, and a well-implemented lock-on system for hitting. The standout feature is the new My Mood mode, allowing players to experience the game from the perspective of a single player on the team, which adds an immersive, almost RPG-like feel. Despite minor criticisms about getting used to detailed animations or repetitive actions, the game is highly recommended for baseball fans, earning a strong average score of 7.66. This section covers games released between March 13th and March 20th, and also introduces the different reviewers contributing their perspectives. This page previews upcoming SEGA Saturn games and budget re-releases. Tennis Arena, a tennis simulation releasing April 9th, receives mixed reviews. While female players appreciate its realism, staff writers criticize its uninspired features and mechanics, with guest reviewers finding the gameplay tedious. Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel, an adventure game based on the anime, arrives March 26th. Denpa Shonenthiki na Game, a party game collection based on a TV show, released March 5th with multiplayer minigames. The SATA Core budget releases for March include Gun Griffon, Sankyo Fever, Shanghai, Great Wall, Seabass Fishing 2, Command & Conquer, Zork Collection, and Die Hard Arcade. This page lays out the comprehensive release schedule for upcoming SEGA Saturn software. It details new titles and budget re-releases expected in March, April, and May, providing essential information for each game including its release date, title, price, publisher, genre, and required or compatible peripherals. A key at the side clarifies the abbreviations used for genres like action, RPG, adventure, simulation, and shooting, along with symbols denoting specific hardware like racing controllers, analog sticks, and multi-tap support. It also indicates age recommendations and flags titles that are appearing for the first time or have undergone title changes. Glancing through the list, we see the March 26 debut of Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel, following up on the preview from the previous page. The SATA Core budget series is prominent with multiple March releases, including Gun Griffon and Command & Conquer. Looking ahead, the schedule highlights anticipated April titles such as Dragon Force 2 and the adventure game Riven, while May includes the intriguing Baroque. This page is a vital resource for any Saturn fan planning their purchases. This page provides a comprehensive look at the upcoming SEGA Saturn software release schedule, continuing from the previous month's listings. It details games expected from late May through July, as well as numerous titles marked for future seasons like spring, summer, fall, and a large section of undecided releases. The schedule is laid out clearly, showing the release date, game title, price, publisher, genre, and any specific hardware compatibility like RAM carts or multi-tap support. Highlights in the dated sections include the highly anticipated RPG Grandia, listed for May 28th, along with Linda Cubed Complete on June 18th, and the Arcade Fighter Pocket Fighter, hitting on July 9th. Beyond the immediate future, the page teases a wealth of games without firm dates. This includes major titles like Shining Force 2, Eyes Scenario 3, Lunar, Eternal Blue Complete, Resident Evil 2, and fighting games like Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter and Virtua Fighter 3. The undecided list is extensive, covering various genres from RPGs and action games to simulations and adventures, giving players a look at the potential lineup stretching out into the future. It's clear the Saturn still had a strong flow of diverse software on the horizon. This page is dedicated to the SEGA Saturn Magazine Reader Presents. It details how readers can apply via postcard for a chance to win various prizes. Among the prizes offered are SEGA Saturn software titles, allowing 20 winners to choose a game released up to March 27th. There's also a cool telephone card featuring art from Devil Summoners, Soul Hackers, with 5 up for grabs. Fans of classic arcade can try for one of 3 Roadrunner mini handheld games, looking just like a tiny brick wall. For the game Tenant Wars, they're giving away 3 copies of the software and 5 cute mascot keychains. Lastly, there's a set of merchandise for Ayakashi Ninden Kunoichi Plus, including items like a mousepad and clear file, presented to 5 winners. The page also includes information about the next issue, which will cover the Tokyo Game Show and feature Sakura Wars 2, and lists the magazine's staff and recent prize winners. This page showcases the SEGA Saturn romance simulation game, Welcome to Pia Carrot. Experience a high school student's summer vacation love story set within a family restaurant. The game features charming heroines brought to life with full voice acting and offers a unique uniform select mode, allowing players to choose outfits for the girls.
Notably, the Sega Saturn version includes exclusive original anime sequences and additional story scenarios not found elsewhere. The game is currently available and features special bonus items in the limited First Press edition, and it carries an 18+ age rating. This page features Waku Waku Puyo Puyo Dungeon, an adventure RPG exclusively for the Sega Saturn. You'll see familiar faces from the Puyo Puyo universe, including Arle, Rulu, and Scherzo, ready for a new kind of adventure. Billed as a casual RPG, the game is set in a mysterious theme park called Waku Waku Puyo Puyo Land. A unique feature is that the dungeon maps within the attractions change every time you enter, adding replayability to your exploration. Players get to choose one of the 3 main characters to embark on this journey. The game was scheduled to launch on April 2, 1998, with a suggested retail price of 5,800 yen before tax. Early buyers could also snag a special First Press edition that included a custom map bandana in the package. You could also find more details about the game on Compile's homepage.